Oh no, I
gotta,
just figured it ain't want to
let
start
it
off
go.
with it. I'm
But
just
before
If you want to, go ahead.
before we do that, I want to tell everybody welcome back to the 2B Fair Show. I am your host, Johnny P.
over here, real.
It's Q.
And we back. Before we get started, want to tell everybody tap in with us on the chat. Hit the like button, subscribe. You'll get all our notifications. Please follow us on all social at the 2B Fair Show. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Yeah, we got a few in the chat active.
Hey,
We back this week.
we back.
We got our Dreamville representatives in the building. Y'all had a good trip out there.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was fun. Oh, actually,
Any
yeah, you know that
apologies?
we was kicking it with Ken the whole time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. We rode to the not like we rode to the festival with them. Yeah, I'll turn it down in a second, but yeah, we rode to the festival with him.
Oh, that's what's up.
Like we drove down there, but like we met them at the hotel, him and his lady, and yeah, part of this festival we kind of was just all hanging out, kicking it, chilling. But the festival in general, yeah, it was fire. This probably would be it was already going into it. It was my favorite lineup. This might have been my favorite one in general as well.
Outside of Cole and Badu, who's your favorite performance?
I think number one for me, because like I've seen Cole so many times, I've seen Badu so many times. Hot Boys, Lil Wayne and the Hot Boys, like that. I was like clear number one. Shout out Steve. Steve was out there. I didn't get to connect with Cuz, but or homie. I'm not a Crip. But but yeah, where was I? Steve, let us know who your favorite one was. But yeah, Hot Boys, that was definitely like a favorite. I got to hear that's in my shoe.
Hey.
Then you like they
no 22. Yeah,
then you know Big Thomas came out to get up, like had everybody getting their roll. Like, of course they didn't drop the back that ass up. Lil Wayne, he did all his Hot Boy songs, but he also did his own set as well. He actually ran a lot of like Carter 2. Like he did some Carter 1, Carter 2 in it. Like
he did dedication or anything like that.
He didn't do dedication.
I was seeing people talk about like his performance shows why he didn't perform at the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
To act like they was talking shit about it.
Like it depends on like what are you going to a festival for? So for me, I'm with all my people, and we're there enjoying the like just the music and vibing with the crowd.
Yeah.
Where it's not like for him to like do like the performance martial arts that niggas be doing.
Yeah.
Like just play the hits and let's have fun. That's really what so like
got you.
To be honest, I wasn't. Yeah, it's like this isn't like the Super Bowl where you running all over the stage and shit.
Yeah.
Or all over the field. This is one straight line stage, and you're gonna walk back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nothing to be. Yeah, you just play your hits.
There's
bro.
So many people doing all type of other shit there too.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, he's there with the Hot Boys and Big Thomas. To me, if they was gonna do the Super Bowl together, it should have been a vibe. So they was definitely number one for me. My baby was there. Tim's great performance. That was another great one.
Black Magic.
It was actually so fire too because like she performed as the sun was going down, but her set design was also the sun going down, so it matched the sun in the background. But they just had it like pushed to Africa, and like it was like an African background because you know she's Afro beats and shit like that. Shout out to Trey.
Trey go like that. Trey go like that.
But who else? On the female side, Glorilla was definitely a standout.
I believe that.
Yeah. Like if you like the festival, it's a lot of women there, a lot of people that enjoy the ratchetness, and like she put on a good little show. You could tell that she had just came off a tour, so she had the background dancers. She was doing somersaults and shit like that.
Don't worry, Trey. She held it down for FBA.
Big X was cool. He ain't played my record that I wanted to hear, but he was cool. I'm trying to think.
That was Coco Jones.
You would have to ask Taj. Hey Taj, pull that mic up. I think it's plugged up. You could answer that. Her and my sister went to go watch them. So I can't specifically give you that answer, but I'm gonna let Taj hit that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Coco Jones was cool. I didn't get close enough to actually see her performance, we were kind of a little ways off, but from what I saw, she did a good job.
So did she do ICU?
Yeah, she did.
That's a record.
I like Taste. I like Taste.
That
That new joint she got, Taste, is pretty fire.
Yeah, I missed Fantasia. I seen some of Wale, but I've seen Wale perform enough times too. I'm trying to think of.
Keisha Cole was there.
Yeah, I missed Keisha. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Talk about she had on what they said she had on a diaper.
It looked like it. Like in retrospect, when I seen the pictures, the shit definitely looked like it was a diaper. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm trying to find the lineup, but is it anybody else that
JID 21
seen JID 21 Savage was a letdown. Luda. I feel like Luda should have been second closer. I don't know why the hell they had 21 Savage as the closer.
He went early.
He went mid, like he had bigger letters. If you understand how like
I don't remember where.
But 21 Savage was the closer on the Rise stage, in which clearly Ludacris should have been. But Steve said P&B. I didn't watch Party Niggas though. I don't listen to his music, so I didn't really care to listen. I did look at his him on the big screen, and I was like, oh damn, he a big nigga. That was my only takeaway. That's my biggest takeaway. He a big chubby nigga. I thought that he might have been skinny, but
I think he used to be.
Is that what it is?
So a lot of niggas get
that nigga let himself go. Damn. But no, I don't know. That's kind of my general synopsis. Again, it's always fun. I like to sit around and politic with people. So yeah, we go into the little tents and meet some. We met some people that just came out. Like it was a girl that came out from Cali. Some other females that were just kind of like sitting beside us. So struck a conversation with them, and I'm like, damn, like festivaling by yourself on the other side of the country is such a big leap. During the Badu set, I did have one of them Cajuns, but like that, like you got like
here we go.
It was fun because of the festival is getting a little bit more diverse. Earlier in the day, it almost looked like, oh damn, they done gentrified Dreamvillefest. But you gotta remember, like the niggas come later.
Always
CP time. Yeah. Once they start setting a little bit, it just get real black and it start feeling like a real HBCU homecoming.
But I know you said you've seen Cole many times. You've been there many times. I was hearing that Cole's probably the best set. Matter of fact, I think Ken posted that was the best set that he's seen Cole do.
I wouldn't say that. Hold on, I'm gonna get right back to Cole.
Okay.
So during the Badu set, I did run across the Cajun, and he was. But all right, so this is where I was starting to that. So it looks like they almost was gentrifying it until it gets a little bit later. But the how you say it, Johnny? Hawaiites? Yeah, like the version of the Hawaiites that's out there. Like like you get like the college boy hipster guys, right? That's probably like straight from like NC State or UNC or whatever, just enjoying the festival. But then you got like the old heads. And these are like the guys that are gonna have like the Beastie Boy shirts on, or like they used the Wu-Tang shirts and shit like that. So I ran across a dad. His son had bought him tickets, and he was like a big like hip hop fan. But he was there for the Erykah Badu set. So like me and him, we done got into like a whole 5% of conversation and shit like that, and you know what I mean, like the whole mathematics and all that. So that was fun. Cole, I wouldn't say that this was my like his best set that I've ever. No, I wouldn't say that. I think the year that he did Devil in a New Dress, I would say that was probably my favorite one. But this was a cool one. He didn't bring out any special guests.
I thought he performed with Badu,
but Badu was already there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it went Erykah Badu, and then it went into Cole, so she just performed the record with him. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Any apologies or anything that pissed you off?
Hey, talk to him. Listen, they actually was playing, not playing. Taj, if you hover over the comments, it'll allow you to click it to show it, and then you'll just click it to take it off as well. Okay. But yeah, you can start at the top and just start running down some of them. But yeah, the food was alright too. Usually festival food be a little overpriced. I done been out there where like to get the full basket was about $50, but this week this time they didn't drop the prices. It was like regular food truck prices. So like you can get like the 8 wings and fries for about $25, They had the surf and turf. Well, we kind of made our own surf and turf for like a good 25. Yeah, the food was high. Shout out Steve. Steve was a little bougie. He was over in GA Plus, I think. That's what is it when you like just make it out of Section 8? I was in Section 8. He was in HUD housing, and like the suburbs would have been VIP. But yeah. I don't know. That's my Dreamvillefest rundown. I don't know if y'all have any questions.
Steve asked, "Did you see the Hebrew Israelites out there?"
I miss them, but they always out there. We don't have the Hebrew Israelites out over here. Yeah. They didn't came to the podcast. I think it'd be the same group too.
No, they be putting on some work.
Yeah.
I see them in the hood all the time.
Yeah, when I walked up, they were it was the white and what do you call it? Evangelical. Y'all know the word.
Evangelical. Evangelists.
Yeah. There you go. I knew it was
some white ones out there.
Yeah, it was like a white man
at Dreamvillefest.
Yeah, he was over on the sidewalk. It was also a dude that I thought it was clever. He had they had like it is one big walkway in which like I think it was like 60,000 people. So probably like 58,000 of the 60,000 people are going to kind of run through. And there was a guy, he was obviously like a local rapper. He had like his speaker set up like kind of like it's a bus stop that's not too far off, like it's right there. And they was doing like free shot if you just download and follow me.
Oh, that's smart.
And like he was while he was just rapping his raps and shit like that while everybody was kind of walking up. I thought it was like a really interesting, cool little promo trick thing, a jig that he did.
Y'all remember when we was at the Million Man March? You said that he was out there. The evangelist was out there.
Yeah.
And y'all remember when we was walking up and the dude had the megaphone talking about white Jesus.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Physically saying white Jesus.
Yeah.
And it was everybody just walking around him.
Yeah. He had to get his shit off.
Yeah, he was definitely getting
for the black folk.
He was definitely getting that shit off.
But yeah, I don't know. Do y'all have anything else? That's kind of like my easiest, quickest rundown that I can give of Dreamvillefest. Again, it was enjoyable. Like I said,
and this is supposed to be the last one, right? That was the last one.
Yes and no.
Yes,
this is the last Dreamville, but they're gonna do something next year. And
yeah, like they renewed the contract, but I think to me this is what it kind of feels like. Like J. Cole doesn't want to have to headline it every year. Okay. So like I think they still signed with Dreamville, J. Cole, and like that whole group, but they're probably going to change the name to where like the Dreamville artists don't have to keep performing. The J. Cole doesn't have to keep headlining. I do feel like they're probably going to gentrify it a little bit and add a couple white acts, but yeah, we'll see.
At this point, it do kind of make sense for Cole not to keep on because you ain't putting out enough music really to be able to continuously do this shit over and over and over. And like, what you gonna keep performing like the classics? Like, what did he perform out there this time differently than any other one? Did he perform anything off Mike Delete?
I can't remember. Yeah, like that'd be at the end of the night. I'd be like drunk. But I mean, but I will also say what he does. Like there's like 3 songs that y'all was gonna hear. You're gonna hear "Love Yours," "One Time for My LA," "One Time for My." You're gonna hear that one, and it's like one more of like his big records. Mm-hmm. But typically it's like his current features, and then he does B-sides. So it's like album cuts, B-sides, then the hits.
Okay.
So like. Every Dreamvillefest it's always different performance wise. Okay. Like this one, I guess like, and this is where I guess what Ken will be talking about. Like the set was like this is probably his best set. Okay. And well, let me see how I can frame that. Not talking about the songs as much as talking about the way the set design. This is his best set design. So he started off inside like imagine if like a house had the front chopped off so you could see inside of it.
Right.
And so he had that where he was in front of like the makeshift studio with the boards and the speakers and shit like that. And he started off with a freestyle or whatnot. I think at first we couldn't hear him. So then he redid the freestyle. And then he kind of went downstairs and was performing in front of the, like, you know, like the makeshift house. Mm. And it was like, for example, he talked about the making of Workout. And he told the story of that. And so now he was in front of like the mixer, and he started like fucking with the sample. Well, he played the whole little thing of like the in the workout song that he got it from, and he was like, and then I heard this part, and I was like, oh shit, da 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 da.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
then he played the sample. Then he went into it.
No, that's dope as shit.
Yeah, like it was definitely like an interesting creative little set. That's me and my take.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's also Raleigh, so I think like next year, you know, the demographics of Raleigh is set up for something totally different than like a hip hop festival.
The acts will always dictate that, though.
You say what?
The acts will dictate what kind of festival there's gonna be. They said they want to keep the same feel, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think they're gonna bring in some, maybe not Taylor Swift, but you're gonna get some more country artists and stuff in there like that.
Gotcha. Johnny, I don't know. Or you could just say it on the mic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, if y'all
no.
done, yeah, we can go to the Karmelo. I didn't know if you wanted to do the albums of 2020 and that.
Oh, y'all want to hit that real quick?
I think that's a good discussion. So I didn't know if we wanted to.
We had 16. Yeah, we got a little time. I can. Who question was this? I didn't talk too much already.
Yeah. No, that was my question.
All right, go ahead, Johnny.
So what's your question?
What was the best, or what would you say your the best album of the 2020s
so far?
And is it
so
best
far,
or favorite?
Best. The best album of the 2020s. I mean, there's a few of them out there. It kind of depends on, you know, the metrics that you want to kind of use to judge them off of.
Okay.
But I'll let you answer first, and I'll go.
Nigga, I just did all this talking. let me put some water in my mouth.
You can go
first. So for me, you know what I mean, the best and my favorite album of the 2020s thus far is Michael. Killer Mike.
Okay.
Killer Mike. To me,
that's a good take.
To me, like the gospel feel mixed with the lyrical content, and you had Andre. You know what I mean? Like that album just felt really good. I remember like riding with the top down and like playing it, and like literally people on the streets would be like, they were reacting to the music. They always thought that it was generally they would think that it was gospel music.
Oh, I thought they would have thought it was Roger Cowell, bro.
This lisp shit. You always killing my man for the lisp. But no, I thought that was a phenomenal project. You know what I mean? That's definitely my favorite.
Okay.
Of the 2020s thus far.
Yeah, I was gonna say eventually, but I had a couple of them. But
nigga, you said one. Give us one.
So
I know what my one is.
I'm gonna go with mine. I think it's the Alfredo joint by Freddie Gibbs.
I
think that's like a classic.
It made my top 3.
Well put together project. He not the most consistent, but I think that was his peak. And I think even just the time
the nigga
is
super consistent. What do you mean?
Well, he's maybe not the biggest artist. Like I don't think he's like like hits for hits.
He had an album of the year contender this
year. Yeah, to me, I gotta go Alfredo. I think it probably should have been up there for. I don't know if it got a Grammy or not, but if it
was nominated,
it should have got that one though.
Yeah, I would go with. We actually reacted to this live. Pray for our brother. He done dropped his name to 2 letters. He in Tokyo right now, wearing swastikas and shit like that. But Donda, the original Donda, easily the best cohesive album in my opinion. And then once you add that Andre record to it, like that motherfucker's a masterpiece from top to bottom. Like I don't know what the skip is on that album, and I think it has bigger highs than any album in my opinion. Like yeah, inside almost every version of a genre as well. Like that album, top to bottom, like it's a bit of a cheat code because there's so many voices and sounds, and this was his DJ Khaled album where maybe he had like 2 records he was rapping, but generally speaking, it was him in producer mode getting the best collection of artists and talent. And yeah, I thought that has been. I don't know of an album that's reached that high marks. Yeah.
So he didn't have
that's another. I didn't even think about that.
What?
But JID Forever Story was a contender.
Yeah,
that for sure.
That was my other third. It was Donda, Alfredo, and Forever.
The Forever Story is one that I considered heavy.
Yeah,
I consider that heavy. What about CLB? Certified
that wouldn't
Lover
be in
Boy.
the.
You
in
know,
the-
He go back with the bullshit.
what?
It was a cool album, but I think it's like 5 things that I don't go ever back to. Probably more than that.
Yeah, he had hella features on that joint.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that he don't. Yeah, but there's a couple that still pop up though. Like even to this day off the
Like what?
CLB. What's the intro track he got? Papa's
Yeah.
Home, or and then the Champagne Poetry.
Yeah, Champagne Poetry. But then what else?
Oh yeah, and go ahead, my bad.
The fair
it.
fair trade, the Jay-Z joint was
I thought he
decent.
was about to say too sexy, bro.
Oh. But you don't like Fair Trade is a fire song. I do like it. When was the last? I never hear that anywhere outside ever.
No, I mean it probably. I didn't say that, but it was in my contenders.
I got another
CLB
one.
wasn't in my.
I got another one that's in my favorites list. Mr. Morale.
Okay.
That was another one
I
of my
thought you were gonna
favorites.
say Brett Fires.
Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely
LTO, we
not.
talking about for the
Yeah,
LTO,
so
we talking about for the 2020s.
Oh, that's a good one.
King Sacrifice said Nas, King's Disease,
It was
2
good.
or Magic. Both of them was good. Like
King's Disease
it was
was
good.
good.
I ain't go back to it. But
I got another one from the streets.
shout out to Ken.
I got one from the streets that's kind of
Shouts to my
hot.
brother.
That was a really good project. I don't know
Talking
if
about the new Future jump.
no, that little baby, my turn. That was a very,
It
very
was
good
good.
project.
I
That was
think I
from-
put that inside like the 20s, like in a sense of like if I'm like ranking all of them, I put it close to.
And maybe that's more like a personal favorite of mine, but that was a very, very good project. And it was people was throwing up the C word on that one.
Okay.
They was throwing it out there. I don't know. You know, I got to go back. But even some of the songs, they still age well, but it's not one of those ones you just go back and listen to every day, though.
Yeah, I mean the off season was all right. That was also in 2020s.
Yeah, the
Off-season
off
was
season was good.
It was
It just
good.
wouldn't be like I wouldn't put that above Forever Story or Donda, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it above me. And honestly, to me, it's not over the Killer Mike joint either. I don't put it over that either. You know what I mean?
Michael's
It was
a
just
great
another
album.
one of those.
I haven't listened to it enough to give like a better objective take on
one
it.
said Busta's last album.
I heard that his album was good.
Well, Busta drop when?
It was within the past year.
Oh damn, I ain't know Busta drop.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the albums where he was like trying to rap again. Like, you know, like sometimes he'll do like the Look at Me Now flow.
I'm gonna
Yeah, but he also has a huge basis of actually rapping really, really well
for
as
sure.
well and putting together really great albums. So like I think that this was one where he like intentionally did that. He actually got like some real like 90s producers and was like, you know, getting to the money.
Yeah, I was having an argument with one of the old heads at the job. He was talking about that LL Cool J project, acting like that was like he just came back. You know, the old. I mean, I understand you hold on to what you hold on to. Well, I mean, I just feel like things have just evolved in a way.
Just understand the kids is going like that. That's their take on us and our music.
Oh no, for sure, and that's what I'm saying. I understand it.
Ice Cube is like he the old head with like the hottest song out right now.
What song he got out?
He did run up some crazy numbers on that video
on the radio.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Yeah,
I ain't heard it.
He dropped the joint with
It's
a video
called
and
Ego.
everything.
That's my ego or
did go
something
up.
like that. Yeah, it's doing numbers.
I want to listen to.
Yeah,
was all right.
I turn it off when it come on, but it gets played.
Right.
I think you was about to say like old artists that's having a run right now. Shout out Young LA. Nigga is having a time right now.
Yeah.
Don't wanna be with J Money serving everybody. That nigga did one interview, went viral, and is back touring that song, boy.
It fucking football shoulder pads.
Tone, what's yours, brother, man?
Oh man, y'all already said it. I was gonna say Forever Story.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was solid. I didn't listen to enough albums in 2020 to really give a good take, but I knew that was one of them. That was like, yeah, my top tier.
Okay.
No, that was fire. Sauce. What's that?
Oh no, I was gonna say. I guess what was? Are we not transition? Are we moving?
I was gonna say you can do that over there. I'll let you transition to the.
I got you. So, nonetheless, I guess we could hit some of the current moving topics right now inside the news. There are two big ones that have kind of been reverberating. We'll try and hit two of them depending time permitting. There is the tariffs, and then Trump versus the world, I guess we could say. And then there is the Karmelo scenario. Carmelo Anthony and I can't remember the Austin Metcalf, I believe it is.
Yeah.
The whole situation that happened in Texas. I guess we could probably start with the Carmelo Metcalf scenario situation. Do you want to give just initial thoughts? We could play a meme if we need to collect our thoughts. Where do y'all want to go with it?
Me to pull up the meme.
I think the meme first will be
All right,
better because
cool,
it kind of
cool.
walks through the story. You know what I mean? It tells
Okay.
us exactly. So.
Yeah, Tone, if you go to the other tab, it's already pulled up.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
It's a little long, but it's her explaining like the entire thing.
I read through the 7-page arrest report for Carmelo Anthony detailing what took place at that stadium, and here's what happened. On Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at 10:01 a.m., a 911 call was made. The caller said that a student of Frisco Memorial High School, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, was stabbed by a black male wearing a gray hoodie and blue sweatpants that went to Centennial High School, who we now know as 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony. Kirkendall Stadium is a multi-use athletic facility used by local schools in Collins County, Texas. Police were dispatched, and as they raced to the scene, it is reported that athletic trainers were on site providing care, but Austin was not conscious and was not bleeding. Blood was on Austin's clothes and all around him. According to the arrest report, school resource officer Eduardo Cortez was the first on the scene. He was sitting in an office across from the stadium. Once he heard the dispatch call, he ran across the Stanley Middle School parking lot and entered the southwest entrance of the stadium. When he arrived, he was met with students telling him what happened. He proceeded to the north end of the track where Austin was. He saw multiple people surrounding the tent. When Officer Cortez arrived at the bleachers, an adult male pointed to Carmelo and identified him as the suspect. At this point, Carmelo was on the north end of the track. As the officer approached Carmelo, he told him to keep his hands up in the air. It was at that time Carmelo shouted, "I was protecting myself." Officer Cortez patted Carmelo down for weapons and none were found. He led Carmelo off of the track, and it was at that time that Carmelo said, "He put his hands on me." The officer then handcuffed Carmelo's hands behind his back and had him sit on the ground. At 10:05 a.m., a second officer, Officer Reese, arrived. Carmelo was patted down again, and Officer Cortez put out the notice that he had the alleged suspect in custody. And that's when, according to the arrest report, Carmelo said, "I'm not alleged. I did it." The two officers walked Carmelo to the back of the driver's side of the police car and put him in. In the arrest report, officers said that Carmelo was emotional, crying hysterically, but compliant. While in the back of the police car, Carmelo said, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to." He also asked, "Is he going to be okay?" In the report, Officer Reese said that Carmelo asked her if what he had done could be considered self-defense. She stated that she then told him that she didn't know what happened. After the officers put Carmelo in the car, they noticed blood on Carmelo's left middle finger. A photo was taken and placed into evidence. I read through the 7-page arrest report for Carmelo Anthony.
Okay.
Initial thoughts, like
Anybody want to kick it off?
I mean, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like it was a fight and he protected himself. Sounds like the guy was being for what I'm hearing, and then it's like different, you know.
Well, I
What did you hear it was
also
a
wouldn't
fight?
say that it was a. I haven't heard that it was a fight at
it
all.
wasn't a fight.
So I don't know if she specifically went through some of the details that I don't know if it would have or would not have been inside the arrest whatever thing.
Mhm.
So it was raining outside, like a downpour had happened at this track meet. This track meet also wasn't on school property, but it was like a field that was like a couple miles away from the school, where it was like multiple teams having like a meet. So a downpour was happening, and they had tents set up. So like downpour is happening, everybody's gonna run under tents.
Right. Whichever one's closest.
Right.
Mhm.
So ran under tent. There was multiple tents set up. So he's under one tent. And the other kid, the Austin guy, he's under another tent. So he leaves that tent in the rain, mind you, and walks over to the other one and tells him that
He's in the wrong tent.
that he's in the wrong tent. And again, context would be that it's pouring down raining as well. This isn't like just like a random break in between like the track meets or anything like that. This would be, again, just cover, making sure everybody's good, and you're just under the tent. So this is where I guess some of the back and forth comes in. I can give like two versions of the story that I've heard. There's one where, well, all of them include the guy coming up to him and telling him to leave. One of them is Karmelo says, don't touch me.
See what happens.
Don't touch me. Then he grabs him. He gets him off of him. And then he says, touch me and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
The guy punches him and Karmelo stabs him.
Was it? I
Runs
thought
off.
he grabbed him. I mean, in
Well,
the
well,
story
that's what
I
I'm saying,
heard,
like-
it was
like
like a grab, and he was like about to move him.
I've heard punch and grab.
Okay,
So,
I haven't
like-
heard the punch one, but
so-
who knows? That's why. It's,
Well, that's
you
what I'm
gotta
saying.
look at
Like there's two versions that I've heard.
Right.
One of them was a punch. One of them still is like, hey, don't touch me.
Mhm.
Grab, stab,
Right.
run off, and then everything else pretty much that she said. Where he said is a self-defense.
Mhm.
Like I did do it. Yeah, like the whole shebang of it. Where all right, so like that then gives like.
And what's the other version that you?
Well,
Those were
the only versions is like, did the white guy grab him then punch him, or
so-
did he just grab him after he said "Don't touch me"? Either one, he encroaches on his space.
Okay.
There's one where there's a punch involved, and there's one where there's
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But either way, the person that initiated and aggressed the situation would have been the Austin kid. The person that stabbed would have been Karmelo.
Mhm.
And then this now becomes a conversation of self-defense, stand your ground, or was it too reactionary of like a thing and should it be deemed murder? That's kind of where the conversation is circling around.
Well, I mean,
There's also
Well, let's talk about that separately. You about
Okay.
to talk about like the
The GoFundMe.
funding.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
talk
say.
about that separate.
well,
Okay.
yeah, like I mean, even if it is like if he committed a crime per se, it wouldn't be like first degree murder, maybe manslaughter or
Mhm.
something like that. Because I mean, you were protecting yourself. You might have went over and too far, but from everything I'm hearing, the guy came and approached you, said something or whatever, and then you defended yourself. So I don't think murder should be, it's definitely not first degree or second degree. Well, I don't know how Texas.
Yeah, doesn't say premeditated. Also, so that I don't want to go into like the unconfirmed things, but I will say, Texas, you are allowed to carry a knife 5 inches and under. 5 inches is actually fairly long. So, but I've also heard like murmurs where like he might have been a part of like the tent setup crew or whatever, to where like that was quote unquote used as a tool. Who knows? This is where like now we're getting into like the hearsay, she say, but a reason why he would have had that on him. But if we just, even if we don't go into like addressing that part, I guess right now a lot of the conversation, and it unfortunately it has been divided almost on right, left,
lines.
or pause, my bad, I did 5 inches, but it probably was wild. We was locked in on being serious.
Yeah.
Steve got you.
Yeah, he did, but he was 5 inches
We
long.
sit here trying to be serious.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody thought about that part.
Nah, I thought it in my head to say it.
Always having gay thoughts.
Playing
Not
gay
about your
games.
mom.
But all right, I forget where I was about to go.
We talking about that it ended up being in like a racial. It
Yeah, it's ended up being like the conversation has been left versus right, and primarily black versus white more than anything. Where the average POV of the white outside of Temple kind of stayed straight along the lines of like stand your ground, self-defense. But most of them kind of go the idea of like, for telling somebody to move, he shouldn't have been stabbed, and that's kind of like where the white version of it kind of sits at. The black version of it sits at he touched him. It's self-defense.
Mhm.
And it was a reaction after he said that he told him not to.
Was a stand the ground, like I mean, like Texas is stand the ground like state, but like
Yeah, but then it still has to be like you can't like exceed the force being utilized by too far. Like I understand stand your ground.
I know
you have to like have something like fearing for your life.
that's not how it works for a lot of people though. Because like
Well,
I mean,
but this scenario still would, in my opinion, there's a part where all of those things still would apply to it though. Like when you go full context, where again, him and his twin brother both approached him. In which this is also the threat of physical altercation that who knows what that ends up being.
I knew that the twin brother was around, but I didn't know that the twin brother actually approached him with him. So that's something I didn't know that part. So
yeah,
they both
came
like
up.
I'm about to be jumped. Now
Yeah,
that does change the dynamic a bit. That actually changes it a lot if you look at like the being a one-on-one versus you coming with someone and approaching me aggressively, then you put your hands on me. Now I don't know what
I'm saying. One of the biggest stand your ground cases in the country. I know it's not Texas, but it's in Florida. No, it happens in Texas, maybe not Florida, but was the George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman,
right.
Yeah, he approached the guy. Yeah, started the fight.
Right. He exceeded force way before,
and then he exceeded force.
No, I 100% agree. I understand what you're saying. I think that goes a little closer to like the other side too. But I agree with what you're saying. Like we have seen many instances where this thing gets flipped the other way.
But I'm saying,
but I'm saying like stand your ground.
If you're allowed to stand your ground, then
yeah,
he should be able to stand his ground in this situation. And to say that he can't, I think it's kind of
I guess what you're saying is that in most circumstances where stand your ground has been used, it wasn't with like reciprocal force. It was the person that was standing their ground used quote unquote excessive force by nature of stand your ground.
And I'm not trying to scapegoat it at all, but I'm just trying to make sure we understand. Okay. In that Zimmerman case, they were also fighting before the firing happened, before he got killed. So
but he approached the
I understand what you're saying, like in the stand, but when you're the reasoning that he was able to get off of it was because of the actual fight that ensued. Okay. That was the reason that he was standing in his ground.
But if he punches somebody, that's a fight.
But you can use the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Like he like there's two different, like he killed multiple people.
Right.
But the first one where the guy just was threatening him and talking, and he shot and killed him.
And that was, where was that at?
That was the
Kenosha.
Yeah, like that was like the protest thing.
Oh no, I know
the young boy that brought the gun, and like so, the first instance that he shot and killed the person, there was no physical altercation that happened.
Right.
The second one, they hit him with like a skateboard and all that shit. That was his own thing.
Yeah.
But the first one, it was just somebody threatening it, and he felt threatened, and then he shot and killed him and got off. And then
do they have that same stand your ground?
I don't know if there's like a different statute that like goes across things. Like when I looked it up, it just they all seem I just seen a like a standard stand your ground thing. But either way, like stand your ground and self-defense, I think that to me, I can see where the case is. Like you can make a good case for it. Of course, what has to be said is that I don't think that the white kid Austin, that he deserved to die.
Right.
And I think that everybody could probably agree that stabbing a person wasn't necessarily like the best measure that should have been done.
Yeah.
Again, reactionary was happening in the moment, fight or flight. I think that this is where all these laws lie at. So now it becomes like like the whole legal jargon piece of it, and where to me the two spots to have the conversation, it seemed, is like morally and then legally, because I think that they lend themselves to like two different justifications.
Morally, it's overkill. Or you got to de-escalate, like morally. Like I think that's what we're taught. But legally, in the stand your ground state, that's the precedent that has been set. Is if somebody, I've even heard governors and mayors talking about if they break into your house.
Oh, that's different.
But that's the precedent they're setting though. As far as like if I'm standing my ground, if you attack me or threaten me, especially if it's a physical attack, I'm allowed to respond with whatever force I deem is necessary to protect myself or my property or my family. And so that's the law. So legally, I don't think he did anything wrong. And I'd have to look up Texas law and see all the words and see exactly, where it is. But like, that's the whole concept of standing your ground. If you come and hit somebody in the face after telling me I can't be here or whatever, threatening me, and then you hit me, I'm scared. I'm intimidated. And
or in general, like aggress me.
Yeah.
I think that would be the.
I have every right to defend myself at that point from whatever threat I perceive.
Yeah, I really wish that there was more, which we know over time there'll be more information that come out, and then that's like you hear people say, what if he was a bully? What if?
Well, I've heard the whole bully thing. I tried to keep it out of it just because you don't need to make the case for either or with that part to it, like the bully part. Like I think whether he is or not, you can make the same one, but it can kind of get convoluted when you do that.
Yeah, I just think that that there should be more. I think there should be more context to it. Like, what was the reason that he approached him? Like, was it just the tent? You know what I mean? Was it just the tent itself, or did they have the? You know what I mean? Was there any kind of prior conversation that they had, or any interaction prior to that would have made it so that he would have been more fearful, or you know what I mean, or that there was the altercation, like you would have known that this was going to happen, like you know what I mean. There was some kind of tension between them. Like I just want to hear. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like there's been different stories that have kind of like came out that attaches like they had a prior incident. I don't know which ones have been debunked and which ones kind of rang true. Yeah, but the whole bully like takeaway. And like him and his brother having like the reputation XYZ. You have like at one point in time there was a story that a couple different times they had incidents together. There's another one that says that they were rival football teams. Another, like to me, the story that I engage in is just one that, with or without that, if we just look at it objectively.
See, my only reason is to be able to further understand the mindset of needing to go that far. Like for me being that fearful, you know what I mean? So
you're saying there has to be something.
No, I'm not saying has to be, but I would like to know if there is a prior situation that happened. And
let's just put it right now that there was
not. Okay.
Even
without it, I think bro is justified as far as like to protect yourself. Like
I think in a legal sense, I think legally, I think he is.
Like you have to,
in my opinion, like it's self-defense and stand your ground. If you put both of those together, the only place where he could get in trouble is the fact that he had the knife on a school event. It wasn't school grounds, but
maybe like once you stab him, like, and he's already.
But stabbing him once and running away also denotes to me fearfulness. Like you were scared of an.
But I think there's a point where like you can stab him too many times, and then it's just overkill.
Yeah, but he just went once.
Yeah, that lends to his as far as this being self-defense. But like I say, if you just stab him 20, 30 times, then maybe not. But if you just stab him once and get out of there, that's clearly like you weren't trying to kill him, you were trying to protect yourself. Because and I think you don't want to set a precedent like or go back against a precedent just because like it's for political reasons. Or just because like the left is supporting this guy, the right's on this side, so you don't want to make it. You don't want to make it a political thing. I mean, the law is the law, right? And the way it reads is the way it reads. And so I think legally, I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, and that's why I said like
high school students, right?
Yeah, these are
both 17. Man,
yeah. And that's why I said like to me legally, I think that if the facts are what they are. Like as we understand them, to me, I think that with previous precedents that have been set, even though like jury trials don't necessarily like decide or make precedent as much as like it decides further legal further legal sway. I guess that'd be like the word to say. But when you look at this in comparison to a lot of the other bigger stand your ground and or self-defense, even if you go all the way up to the thing that just happened up in Daniel Penny, the thing up inside New York that just happened with the subway choking and all that. Like it's hard to like make the case legally that they get off and he
And
does it.
No. I can agree with that.
And that's the part where it's like, you don't want to be like, well, they all did it, so we get this pass. But if we're speaking legally, I think that, in my opinion, that's where it ends up like that's what a drag is, where like it's you can't have this precedent for all these other people, and then for the one black kid.
Yeah, then I'm gonna say, what's the difference in the case when it doesn't go?
And most of these, like, he's the most passive out of all of these cases. The New York City one, there was a homeless guy that was making threats on the subway, but he never touched anybody. Some army dude choked him out, killed him.
Yeah.
He never touched anybody, never did, but he got off for it. Again, the Rittenhouse thing, he broke curfew. Nigga was crossed state lines, had a gun he wasn't supposed to have. And then the first one he killed didn't touch him at all.
Yeah.
That's kind of a hard little, you know what I mean? Same difference when you look at the not George Floyd, but the Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
The person that killed the person was the aggressor in this scenario.
Starting.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I think that's where it ends up being interesting. Morally, it's hard to just be like, the kid should have died. I think that there is a space, though, still morally where you control your actions, not somebody else's reactions.
Mm-hmm.
And so, still, why did you need to go over there and put your hands on that kid?
Yeah.
And that's the part where it's still like these are kids, so you don't think it should elevate to where it becomes a murder of course, fisticuffs. That's what we all would prefer it to be.
Right.
Also don't know the state of this kid, his background. It's so many different things that can come into place where when dealing with anybody, you decide to go fuck with that person. Damn. You don't know what the fuck they going through that day.
That's a lesson people got to learn, especially like a lot of people they think they Billy Badass until they meet Billy Badass, and then you get your ass. But sometimes unfortunately, that's not a lesson he's gonna get to learn. Yeah, that's a lesson that as kids, it's usually something that you want to learn early on, because you get it as a grown person and acting like that. The consequences become a lot worse. Even high school, they can be bad.
And then see, this is another thing. Like I'm trying to put myself in Karmelo's in his shoes. And let's say that this thing was about to happen to me, right? And the guy came up to me. We don't know if he punched him or if he just grabbed him or what. And what would make, even if I had the knife in my bag, right? If I had the knife in my bag, and I utilize the knife for something else, it's different if I use the knife for protection. If I carry it for protection, then that's my go-to. You know what I mean? It's like a gun. If I carry a gun, then I know that when this happens, my reaction is going to be to pull.
Okay, but let's say if you
just have the knife for work and
it just happens to be there,
and you know what I mean? Is that going to be my mentality to utilize the knife as a weapon? If the intent I have it for is not,
but you don't know until you get pressed.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to put myself in my.
I think
I think in that same way.
There's so many nuances to it, and this is where to me we can get caught inside the nuances where I can build a case where this makes sense. One, let's just say I brought it and this is my protection.
Yeah, that's what I just said that.
I was going to give a couple different examples. And say it was my protection,
and it's legal for you to protect yourself in that
it's legal
fashion.
Protected, and it's under the 5-inch whatchamacallit. And now you got two twins that are known for bullying, that are bigger than me, and they're aggressing me in the rain.
I mean, I wasn't trying to add much to it. I was doing mindset.
But what I'm doing, you was asking that
could be the mindset.
So I'm just painting a picture.
Go ahead.
That's what the lawyer gonna do.
Yeah. Same different. If this was a tool, and again, let's just say I'm not a kid that fights, and I have again two brothers that are aggressing me, and I at this moment don't know what to do. I'm not a fighter. I go into panic flight, fight or flight mode. Right. We all understand this, and again, to my understanding, he showed him and said, "Hey."
Oh, you said he showed him the knife?
Yeah. Okay. Every story I've heard, he showed, he said, "Oh, nigga, touch me if you want."
If I say if
or whatever the framing of it is.
If I've given you a direct warning,
yeah. So every story I've seen, he's shown
this is going to go,
and
you
said like,
still
"Hey,
say, well,
don't
fuck
put your
that
hands
nigga,
on me," and showed that like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that he deserved to die, but what I'm saying is that you've definitely pushed this to the point to where the reaction.
You started a situation
Yeah.
that just.
I think
didn't
he had a couple. Maybe it sounded like he might have been on like a different side of it. I think we're
And
too
I think
close to
that's-
Kumbaya I am right now.
I don't think Uncle's really on a different side of it.
I know you
So,
asked something about like why bring a knife to a track meet.
Well, let's
I
see
think
what
he
let's see. You want to just
Okay.
see what everybody
Yeah,
thinks about
let's
it. Let's
see.
see what everybody kind of land
Yeah.
Okay, let me start up here.
TBI, we on code or what? Talk to me, brother.
on. What does Cole land on this type of shit?
I don't know. I've been still trying to find out who's the code writer.
It's like I did want to ask one question real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So just one of the undisputed parts of the story.
Okay.
Is he put down? He waited for the police. He told them he did it.
Mhm.
He didn't run.
Yeah,
he ran initially. He ran.
Well, he ran away.
They said he was on the other side of the.
Well, yeah, like he ran away from like
He was still
where the
on the
altercation. He
premises.
didn't leave.
But he was still at
He
the
was
what's
still
called
at
it.
the
Yeah,
premises.
for sure.
Yeah, I
So
think
he
that's
didn't,
okay.
he didn't run away. He waited for the police to come. He told the police he
He
did
did
it.
it,
Yeah.
right?
I trust my man's gonna get proven innocent.
And then he didn't even know if the dude died. If you
Actually,
stab
he
some,
okay.
yeah, like
and if it'll be self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, like one
No.
it's kind of bad luck because like to kill somebody with one stab, like most times, like unless
Yeah.
you're trying to,
I mean,
like most, it sounds like just something.
Or it
that's
could have been a sleeper
unfortunate.
cell train. Nah, this is a joke
and I think
in a
that,
non-joking manner.
and
my
I think
bad.
that like on the other side of it, like the legal, is like you're asking, was it self-defense versus saying it was I was defending myself. It is self-defense. If it's self-defense, you don't necessarily have to ask. Like if I fear for my life, you done punch me.
He's a kid
I-
though.
Okay, we could give
I think
the
Yeah,
kid
that's
card.
what I
We
was
could give
like.
the
I
kid
think
card.
that
But
if you don't-
I'm just saying what the other argument for the attorneys on the other side would be.
Yeah,
With that being said, like
I think them niggas gonna have a tough little
It,
day.
it sounds like it's
It just
gonna be tough.
depends.
But
on-
G was
like,
saying he
if-
think that
if they had
he gonna have.
previous-
I think it's
if they
gonna
had previous
They
altercations,
should drop the charges.
if they had previous altercations, it's gonna be a problem. I can tell you that now.
Well-
if they had any previous altercations,
Yeah, and I don't know. For them
They
to
shouldn't
have-
go
oh
to
yeah, 'cause
trial.
if they had the previous altercation, then you can look at it as premeditated because you
premeditated,
brought
'cause
the
it's like you
knife,
brought the
basically,
knife.
possibly for this altercation. You know what I mean? For the reasoning that this is supposed to happen, or this could happen. Like,
Or you-
but I mean,
or-
if you can
or
look at it as protection,
or
too,
you
though,
brought
like-
it to protect
Yeah,
yourself.
no,
Yeah.
that's
These
another
dudes-
way.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how it play out.
In
But
which, like, from my understanding, the previous altercation and shit like that's been debunked. But
Mm.
I haven't been staying up until yesterday. I kind of had a
Staying
pulse
with
of
it.
everything that was kind of going on, but I don't know if there's been any specific updates. Again, I think asked about the knife. Like, I don't know that kid life, so it's hard for me to say why he would have.
Mm.
The story that I've heard from his side would be that I did hear something dealing with the idea of him helping to put up the tents, and that it was something like it was a tool that was used for like when you're doing the tents and shit like that, like you got to cut the rope and different shit like that.
I don't
This
know
is just
about
what
that
I have
part.
heard.
I don't know about that part. I don't put up plenty of tents. Even in the military, I don't put up tents that we ain't use no knife nan time. I don't know what you need a knife for the
I don't
tent
know.
for. But I mean, hey, who knows?
yeah, he wasn't putting up no tent.
I don't know what the knife for the tent was, but
Okay, like I haven't put up them little like the little the
I
you
know,
know
the
like the
little-
little
with the- just
thing
the
with
four
the big
things.
with the big long strings and shit like that. I would just seem like you would have to cut.
oh no,
the cord at
generally,
some
if
point.
you talking about use generally from if we're talking about the same thing, you use that as the thing that you would put in. You use that cord to put something in the ground to hold the tent down. Oh no, those go in the actual legs of the tent. So what rope are you talking about? I don't think I know.
Like what holds the like we had to go to like if you look at the
I mean,
the little
those
picture of it,
tents that like at school, it's different than like a tent,
like a
outside.
military tent.
Yeah,
No,
like
I'm talking about
but
just the ones,
like
just
but
the
you
four legs
feel like they be
that
they
having
usually
like a
have
little
weights on the ground, like and
Or they
lots
have
of-
like those little picks that you put in the ground. It's got like the little L shape, like the 90-degree angle, and you put that in the ground and it holds the tent down.
but usually
on the
those
legs.
they have weights on the bottom to hold.
No,
it.
but either way, where's the rope is what I'm saying.
Isn't like there's a rope that hold like the little
sides.
covering thing. Yeah.
Oh, up that you tying up on the top. But where
Yeah,
you gotta cut it.
Yeah, and I think that you would tie it at the bottom too,
Yeah,
like
to the stake at the bottom.
yeah,
Yeah, but what would you cut it for?
like if the rope is long.
You ain't necessarily.
I don't know. I don't know. Possibly. But go ahead, Tony.
It's like some Boy Scout shit. I don't know, man.
Okay, let's continue.
But shit, like again, Texas or any like mad niggas, like especially when you get into pocket knife territory, Nobody said what kind of knife it is yet either.
Mhm.
Um,
I don't know. Every time I think about it, I think like box cutter.
No, it's probably
But it's probably
Texas, bro. It's probably
It's Texas.
I
That
do
makes
want
sense.
to. I
It
do
makes
want to
sense
wait
too.
for more details because anytime stuff like this happens, I always try to take it like, how would I carry it if this was in the reverse?
Mhm.
Like if this would have been a white kid that stabbed a black student who he alleged was a bully. How would I like? How would
Or
I
even
want this to be
beyond the
carried?
bully part, just that everything happened
Everything
and then
happened
flipped
in the way
on,
that
this,
it
on the
happened.
other way.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because like
the
we
white
get caught
kid
up
wouldn't
in
have got
stuff.
arrested.
We get caught up
No, he
in stuff,
would've.
but this is how laws get enacted that go against us. So it's like you have to be careful with how you're looking at stuff sometimes because it's like we can sit there and be in one case like, yeah, this person needs to have this, and the law of the land or whatever or people ends up taking over actually ends up being what happens in the court of law, and then we end up with the law that actually doesn't work for us, even though we helped to enact it.
I see what you're saying.
right. Well, let me see.
That was it. That was it.
And but to me, like this is where, like, the interesting part to me of the public dialogue lands at, because of going to what you're saying. The right, and you know what I mean, like not to make it racial, but to make it racial. White people, especially conservative white people, have inside every instant laid on these exact same principles.
I agree.
Of to why, even if you go down to the what was the knee on the neck,
George Floyd.
Yeah, like all like every single thing always is justified because of this person aggressed inside some version of a manner, and it was self-defense, no matter what the preceding acts was, every single time. And so to me, I was actually interested to see once the details came out how consistent they would be on just like their general takes, because of, again, like to me it's hard to like shout for Rittenhouse in not this. Like if you are a self-defense guy, and that's why I actually give Tim Pool credit. He's one of the guys on the right that actually is like going off script right now. And he's like, well, it sounds like textbook self-defense. But like, again, like if this is your take, and again, like I understand like there's the hypocrisy and a bit on the left where a lot of people cried about all these situations and now you're using that argument. But the reality of it still would be that I think that like the biggest hypocrite in it, in my opinion, would be if like you say you don't see race inside any of these other ones, but as soon as it happens on the other side, and again, like this is like one of the least abrasive ones. There's ones where the person that did the killing were the aggressors. More times than not, that ends up being the story. Where in this one, suddenly it's why did he have to stab him? And every time I've heard it spoken about, because I heard it like 2 weeks, close to 2 weeks ago, and original story. This was on Patrick Bet David. It was like this because he told him he was at the wrong spot. It was like, oh man, what's going on with that kid? I just wonder what's going on in his house, and why would he have a knife? And he stabbed that kid for no reason. But then you find out, oh damn, this white kid walked up to him, aggressed him in the rain. Like he wasn't just like nowhere for no reason. Like it was a bunch of like details that was left out. But then once you start hearing every single story that the right tells of it, there's like this interesting omission of like certain details. And then it like, to me, it's like, all right, let's just find a place of consistency for a second. If we are going to do this, let's just do it across the board. If you're not, don't call the left snowflakes when they do it inside their favor.
I think that and see, I hadn't heard about that rain. The rain is important.
Yeah,
because I hadn't heard the rain, because then that validates why he was in the wrong tent. Nigga, I'm just getting out the fucking rain.
And the rain part is
that right there. That is definitely important. I haven't heard anybody say anything about that, even as she was giving the information.
Even if he was in the wrong
she didn't
tent.
mention that. But I'm just saying the rain.
No, but it adds another level of.
It's almost like another level of innocence. Like I'm just innocently here. It's not to cause a problem. You know what I mean? If you leave out the rain, it's like, okay, why was he there then? What was he trying to incite some type of, you know what I mean? It's just another place to blame him on. You know what I mean? And I think that the point that you was making where you talk about the inconsistencies, also lie in the funding. You know what I mean? The funds that the funds that have been raised. Whereas you're hearing a lot of people saying, he's raised that much, you raised that much money for him, but what about the guy, you know, that they're raising the money for the funeral? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be given to assist in the funeral expenses and all that stuff, but just talking about the conversation that's being had about the funds. Yeah, he's raised, I think one's raised like 350, the others raised about 320,000. And it may be
but how much
more
funds do you need for a funeral?
That is just excessive.
Nah, it's not even about the funeral. What it ends up becoming is, and LTO said that she said, this being a black and white thing blows my mind. It is a black and white thing, though. It always is. And that's really what this comes down to. Basically, what I think what those GoFundMe's more so represent is people's views on whose side they're on.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to represent.
That's the reality.
Rather than it being like people not looking at the reality that 2 high school students got into a fight that could have been avoided. It probably was a racial thing because they've been taught the same thing that over and over again through the same thing. Like,
but my thing is like for a sec, let's move it. Like, even if we don't put it at a racial thing, right? Because again, like, I think the easiest elephant to address is the racial part, and that's
about amongst the kids.
Not like just inside like the discourse. Because of like it is, but if we're going with like the GoFundMe part, or I think it's Give, Send, Go. This is where I call hypocrisy again, right? So like they wanted them to take down the Give, Send, Go for the black kid, right?
And they took it down on GoFundMe.
I don't know if they actually was on.
It says that somebody from GoFundMe said that they took it down for the reason that they don't the person for it. They don't support situations. They won't allow you to have anybody get killed, and the person who did it, who actually killed the person, fun. They cannot have it.
But didn't they pay Cal Rittenhouse?
Well, I'm about to get there, but I think Give, Send, Go. So it might not have been on GoFundMe. Give, Send, Go. They did raise for Cal Rittenhouse. They raised for what's the officer that killed George Floyd?
Derek
Chauvin and Daniel Penny. This exact same platform, because they actually put out a press release, Give, Send, Go, where they said, we allow people to raise until proven guilty. We believe in innocent until proven guilty. And inside the instances of these other ones, we have also allowed this to happen. There's no reason for us not to allow the raising of these funds. And that's my problem, is that like, if we can have it either way. To me, I'm cool either way. Like I ain't got a stake in the claim. My thing is just to be consistent. If nobody that has killed somebody and is waiting trial gets to raise money, let's make it that.
Yeah.
But don't do it only when you disagree with it.
Yeah.
Don't try and cancel niggas just because you disagree with it now.
I wonder
when that's the nasty part.
That, because like you say, I'm pretty sure I remember them raising funds for.
But I think they ended up pushing it over to Give, Send, Go, because Give, Send, Go, I think they was the one that raised for those 3, because they made like the explicit like statement about like the amount that they raised.
Yeah, that man deserved.
They probably started on
GoFundMe lawyer funds for real. Like he deserved to at least be able to have a good lawyer.
Yeah, they said his bond is at like $1 million. They said his bond is $1 million.
Yeah.
And then this done became a political case on the world stage rather than an isolated incident amongst the high schools.
Yeah.
So it's even worse. Like
and the thing is that the only thing that makes it racial at the moment is the reaction of the public.
Yeah.
Like you could just look at, like, to me, as long as we just apply some level of consistency, if you felt that Rittenhouse should have got off, then right now it's hard for me to see why you have a real complaint. If you didn't, then hey, I think you got a complaint, and that's cool. Just be consistent. That'd be my only issue with the whole thing.
It says that GoFundMe changed it in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, it says that specifically they added the phrase or claims to their terms and conditions, making it clear that they will not allow campaigns for legal defense of individuals charged with or accused of formal charges or claims of heinous crimes, violent, hateful, sexual, or discriminatory acts.
I feel like a lie. Like it's like I recollect them doing this.
So
that's just what Google says.
So I but the thing is that we typically use the word GoFundMe to represent any crowd.
Yeah, we kind of
any crowdfunding,
with everything.
no matter what it is. All right, Unc said, to be honest, this is like it feels like this is the black on black thing. The thing though also is, would it make the media rounds? No. Anything that's racial is hyperbolic, but there is black people that get off on self-defense all the time.
Yeah, even a lot of these gangsters. And
like niggas get off on self-defense. Like the legal
baby,
the baby's a great example.
He done caught a couple times.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like the legal argument for self-defense does actually.
That dude,
but he shot his ass.
Yeah, he shot him.
Okay,
he shot him.
So like, yes, would it be publicized? No, but the reality is that the black people weren't the ones publicizing this first. The first time I heard about this was a week. Trey was the second person I seen, and then I had to be like, all right, damn, let me actually read all the facts so I know exactly where I'm about to land on this. But it was a week before the right wing had already picked this up, and they had started like pumping, omitting facts and just pumping and pumping and pumping. So like this, like to me, it's hard to just blame the left on this one. Like we do love the we've been accused of being a MAGA podcast before. But I know my like if I'm being objective, if like again morally, I don't think that he should have stabbed the kid. The legal precedents that have been set and agreed upon the country, it's hard for me to see how this is murder,
and specifically in Texas for sure.
Yes,
like I would agree. Morally,
or even like the same people who was agreeing with Zimmerman, like you said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
is
any of the previous precedents. Like y'all niggas like can't argue that and then argue this. Yeah. Just be consistent. And then
if you do want to argue that, it's like let's really dive into why.
Yeah.
No, honestly, we don't even have to dive into why because I know why.
No, you didn't hear what he said. He said why.
Why?
You know what that meant? Okay. You know what he meant by that.
I saw one comment. It's up there, but it said something about he didn't die from stabbing. He said something
some drugs. Somebody they debunked that too. I see that was one of the things they debunked.
That sounded like a troll.
But that's the go-to though.
Well, I'm about to like right now, many things is gonna come out. Crazy. So many things are gonna come out. To where that's why I didn't really want to use any of like the whether he was a bully, they had previous incidents. Like there was a drug narrative that was coming in. Like there's a bunch of things that were happening, like the whole brothers. There's a bunch of pieces that you could add to it, but to me, until further things come, you can just use the actual like all the pieces that are confirmed.
There weren't no witnesses there.
No, it was a bunch of witnesses.
They had plenty of witnesses.
Okay, so that's what I want to hear. I'm curious about what the witnesses have to say about what they seen happen.
Yeah.
Well, you know they're gonna have stories of like the kids that knew him, and they're gonna start talking about.
Yeah, because I've heard like the parents.
But you know something too. Like the old head, me and old head talked about it. He was like, okay, well, if he was over there in the tent where they were, then the story is going to be very one-sided because or it could be very one-sided because we're on this side. You see what I'm saying? If you're in the tent where we're supposed to be and we are the opponents of you, then the story could easily be one-sided. If we are from the school that's the same for Metcalf, then that could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we'll see though. We'll see how.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see.
But
it'd be interested to see like if to me it's close. It's open and shut if that punch was thrown. Like I think the grabbing is already aggressive enough. If you threw the punch, bro, dog. Like that's assault. You're assaulting him.
The fact that he said, "Hey, I held the knife out and said, hey, if you touch me,"
and which I don't know if he held the knife out as much. I heard that he showed it.
And showed him like
if he just showed him in general,
see what's gonna happen.
I'm ready because like even in this conversation, there's pieces of information. Like as I was like looking at the different people speaking on different podcasts talking about it, the rain wasn't mentioned, and
that's why I said like it's so much omission that. And the rain is a fact. That's not like
that's important too. And if I showed you the knife and said, "Look, you do it again," and that's important. You know what I mean? That's very fucking important to leave out of the story.
And but also I think the fact that he died shouldn't add to it. I think like the self-defense claim should be self-defense.
Yeah, I think it's like two separate conversations.
Legally,
like it's two separate. Like should he have died? No.
Right.
But
Was
like,
this self-defense? Well, let's talk about this isolated from him dying.
right? Well, even the guy's actions, like I just said this earlier, like if stay away from me, I hit you once.
Well, why the fuck are you walking over here to me?
And then
trying to stand over me and
then you get stuck
and that's and when you talking about like thinking through it, like right now we sitting down. Like if I just stood up over you and started threatening you, you like, hey, hold, like just to stand up, you already got the one up on me.
Yeah, if I'm sitting down, you and I got the night, like I'm all.
Hey, bro, chill the fuck out, bro.
You got the advantage like crazy right now.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting down,
and it's two of y'all,
and it's two, which I did. That was another piece that I didn't hear. I know that he had a twin brother that was there holding him when he passed, but I didn't know that.
He was right, that's why he was holding him. He was right beside him.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Yeah, it's a lot of information.
And this now, I'm gonna go into my own conspiracy. Sorry, all of our white audience and consistent viewers. This will be the one. This would be the one racial throw that I would throw into there. To me, this is the most suspicious part. Is so like the guy's dad that Austin, the one that died, like 2 days later, he's on the news saying this was not racially motivated. This was not politically motivated. He said that he completely forgives the kid and like the whole ring, right? That's hyper suspicious to me.
That's crazy.
That's hyper suspicious. To me, that is covering a really big like dirt trail. What that leads back to will be interesting. Whether that's like if they have previous incidents that one could deem, if he himself has some version of something that people could then be like, was he a part of one of these little Facebook groups where he was talking about the
Proud Boys,
how 12%ers and the grapefruit eaters and shit like that?
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
but it was too common.
But to me, to like just jump out in front of everything to make that statement.
Part.
Oh, it's like a clear, like this is like one of the first interviews that I seen.
And then 2 days in to forgive, like that, just to even say that I forgive you 2 days after killing my son is crazy.
It's like such a, and to me, like I was like,
you're definitely trying to get in front of
something.
Yeah, you're trying to get
and
in
like
front
this is completely like unsubstantiated conspiracy. Like take this away from all
it's
of
not
like
a conspiracy. You just saying that it's interesting.
Oh no, well, it's in the part that's conspiracy is me leading it to mean something.
Oh, okay,
but he did do that, and in my opinion, I think that that's interesting.
Well, yeah, they're gonna have to dig onto the character of this family because, like, when I first heard it, and you're like, you're in the wrong tent, or you're not supposed to be here. To me, like my little spidey senses start taking.
Well, you would also think like he just was like fucking around, just moving niggas out the way to come sit where they were at. Not that he was minding his business and then these other people
just come over here. But that sounds like some racist shit to me. If I'm like, because I imagine it's like if you Texas, it's probably not a lot of black people. It sounds like a more rural or suburban.
They said Frisco. I don't know what the demo is. We can look it up.
I think that's a pretty well-to-do part of like Dallas.
We don't take kindly to
your like to me, even you're in the wrong tent. That sounds a little racial.
And yet, like, and even like to see your point. If I don't put this at like a version of like racial at all, it still sounds like his dad understood his kids be causing trouble.
Yeah, he knew. Yeah,
like that to me. Like if you just got like a kid that be out the way.
Oh shit!
What? Come on, you
can't just
he just shit and just kept looking at his phone. Come on, Solo.
Don't say the race and ethnicity population breakdown is 50.4% white.
Okay.
35% Asian.
He was
African American 9.2%.
Yeah, he didn't belong in that tent.
Basquiat with the paintbrush.
The median
painted a new picture, didn't it? Yeah.
The median household income is $141,000.
Yeah, they rich out there.
Yeah,
okay,
they rich out there.
Basquiat with the paintbrush.
I thought I heard of Frisco. Yeah.
All right. What did that say? Something about Dallas. Oh, it's a suburb outside of Dallas.
Yeah, it's a nice Frisco. It's a nice suburb from Dallas.
Definitely a suburb. 141.
Oh yeah, median.
Median,
Yeah,
yeah,
you doing all right.
50%.
See, that's
so he also
that's a real suburb.
I think that
Rock Hill is not a
that
real
definitely
suburb.
paints even a crazy because likely he was a token out there.
Oh yeah, but that's
And then he was a football player, and obviously he was a football player because they had the picture and the track. So hey, I ain't really wanted to even go into like the complete race back.
We gotta get there,
but
but
pretty.
But
yeah,
it is a huge. It's the easiest elephant. That's why I kind of wanted to leave it at the.
It's already a racial thing. That's
Yeah.
what it's going to be.
Yeah, I just didn't want to have it from just that racial lens
it's-
for us. I
hold on,
understand
wait
that
a
it's
minute.
But I
definitely
think we
been
did a good
issue.
job avoiding it first.
Yeah, for sure,
they
for
were
sure.
talking about it's not a racial thing. They let my boy they need to drop the charges and let him go, then it won't be racial.
You're right about that.
Like,
Yeah, we can say we got one.
yeah,
Not
just-
racially, just meaning like, you know.
Oh no, see that? I ain't going with you, bro. Trey would love that.
Yeah, you would.
That's on code.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
on code right
Hey,
now.
me and Trey was on code together in a group chat against G.
you off the
Yeah.
Oh damn,
off
Yeah,
the
it
fence,
was
my boy.
you know,
I
we
ain't
found
seen
some
that
common
one.
ground. Yeah.
I ain't seen
We
that.
went for a little bit.
Okay, I think we addressed about everything that's in the comments. Y'all want to move on to memes?
Yeah.
Does anybody have a meme that deals with the tariffs? Did we want to touch that? Pause.
I didn't have no memes that deal with the tears, but
I
yeah, we
didn't
do need
either.
to talk that.
Okay. Should I intro this or does anybody else want to intro it?
Go.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
you
intro
got it. Yeah.
All right.
I thought we were going.
So I guess what was it? What did Trump call the tariff day?
Damn, I don't know what he
It was
called
like
that
Freedom Day or some shit like that. So it was a day in early April. I think it was April 2nd. He dropped it on them. He dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Worldwide tariffs. You get a tariff. You get a tariff.
Everybody.
Your island got penguins. You get
Oh,
a tariff.
it's Liberation Day.
Liberation Day. Yeah,
Liberation Day.
He dropped Liberation Day before FBA. That's crazy. But shout out to the homies. It's a joke. But
Get on his ass. Fuck
That boy
that.
trying to get ahead of the accusations.
Yeah, the chat was for the turn up on his
It
ass.
has nothing to do with
the chat always gonna
foundational
turn up on me. It's cool. But no, yeah, April 2nd, I believe it was, dropped Liberation Day. Everybody get a tariff. Even the unoccupied with humans, everybody got the tariff. The response to that over the next week, you seen some back and forth from the right. Just kind of depending on where you sat, and if you was like old MAGA, new MAGA, there was like some infighting happening a little bit. You started seeing some of Trump's right-hand men, Elon Musk, and I forget what the other dude name is. In essence, a lot of the business owners started pushing back a little bit. I think Trump then has the press conference out in front of the White House. I think he said that niggas was getting yippy. Is that the word he used? He said they're getting yippy. It's a lot of yippy.
He called them scared.
Yeah, he said people getting yippy. So you know what? Another 90-day pause, right? So he put the 90-day pause, but
China.
how you say it?
China.
Y'all niggas get the 145. Fuck it.
Shine.
145 on y'all. So he kept the tariffs with China, paused the global tariffs for everybody. There's been like a couple different conversations happening. Like, did this make sense?
He didn't walk back some of the China tariffs too.
Oh, he has recently. I
No,
haven't been paying
no,
attention
not
over the
here
past
recently,
two.
but I think earlier on, I think they were kind of going back and forth with it. But now they ain't walk back now.
I saw
China just
electronics are exempt. The iPhones,
He's been making exemptions.
even to the.
He said
China tariff.
anything. What's his name? Elon touches is exempt.
It's
or
like
what?
the electronics. I think, but they were talking about like a semiconductor tariff. I think that's where they're gonna land. But like right now,
it's more
electronics.
computer chips
But,
and all the Nvidia
I mean, at
stuff.
the same time, that was the same thing that China was doing too. They weren't doing like a tariff on everything. It was like sectors. So they had the agriculture.
Well, that
and they
is
had go ahead.
how you should be doing tariffs.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
We're gonna build to this. But yeah. So I guess there's been conversation that deals with like how did they get to this tariff number that has been interesting. There has been a conversation on like tariffing across the board. Does this make sense? There's been a lot of stock market bond reaction
Yes.
across the board, where I think it like
What was that?
we see some
Thursday?
really bad days. When they announced that it was going to be a 90-day pause, it shot back up,
Yeah.
and then once they found
That
out,
10-year bond.
it dropped again, and it's been like a quite a interesting
Roller
past
coaster.
2 weeks that we haven't necessarily addressed like everything that's happened since Liberation Day and up until now. That's my intro.
Hey,
Bro, look like you got
another thing that was funny is my boy gave them niggas the heads up on the it's a great time to invest.
Oh yeah.
That was,
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing, bro?
Buy
That's
the dip.
crazy.
Buy the dip. He's talking
He
about
tweeted.
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
That was crazy.
buy the dip, which I think it's
I ain't
all.
gonna swear everything in my everything was up that day.
Mm.
Everything was up.
Bro, they playing a game though. Like, I mean, like even with the tariffs, like he's doing it to manipulate the market and to like to scare people, especially like I can see like if you gonna just to roll it back at the last minute.
It was just a
Well, he didn't roll it back
minute.
at the last minute. It set for a second.
Yeah,
It did. It was there.
What do you call it? It's a
Oh,
tactic.
yeah, I mean, but
He's
he
using it
rolled
as a
it-
business tactic to try to like get some kind of leverage. He's trying
It's
to get
a
the
leverage play,
and then,
yeah.
it was a leverage play. But with the China thing's a little bit different. I think the way that he was attacking everyone else, that was more of like, let me just set this let me set the rules for the playing field, and for you to know that it's serious, so that when we come to the table, you understand that if we can't work out something, then this is gonna be, you know what I mean?
All right, so let's figure out where we want to have a conversation at first. I like we use that. I'm cool engaging at that spot, or is it like a way that y'all want to build this to make sure that like we could talk about like you went somewhere, but I like to hit all of them. Does that make sense?
Me
Yeah.
too.
Every girl in the world. Shout out to Lil Wayne. I just seen him in Dreamville. But do we want to talk about the global tariff across the board and how they rolled that out, or do we want to hop into China in the trade war versus China first? I think that they're definitely
different.
Yeah,
They're different. I think that, well, I mean, the title was Trump versus the world.
Okay.
So I guess we can start with the world and then kind of go into China afterwards. If you
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I got a hating take. So like, who does anybody want to
hate and take.
Yeah, I'm hating. So like if somebody wants to like start with like the positive and how like this shit fire, if somebody does.
Well, I
have
mean,
that.
I think that like to you would be kind of OD to like be talking like the positive, in my opinion, because like it's always like speculative. Like you don't know,
exactly.
you don't know really which way it's gonna go. So for you to have like this is gonna work, like this thing, it seems to me like what was the last turn? What was it? The Britain. The last term where they changed the whole trade agreement, where it was where before it was like this whole idea of the free trade. There was a transition. I don't want to talk too long, but they're saying that this is an attempt to make a new transition on the way we trade as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't know whether this is going to work or not. So there's no way to be like overly, you know what I mean? You can't overly confident about the end result of it. So like that's more where I was like, even in the chat, I was like, I'd rather kind of hold off and tell how I feel, you know what I mean? So I can see, you know what I mean, where this kind of lands. But it is interesting.
The crazy part about it is I kind of had a feeling that's where you was going, because you was still speculative on it. But that's why I wanted to address it, because I think like even I'm speculative on it, but ultimately I do think they're gonna, and it's not so much a positive take. I can see things in a positive way, some things positive coming out of this. I do think there are some good opportunities to make money if you pay attention to what's going on and you just accept that it is what it is. Like, but I do think ultimately that this is, I'm just taking a guess here. I don't think this is going to end up resulting in something good necessarily. I think it may for a minute.
I don't really see like the really good part of it, just because most of it just doesn't make
It's
sense.
also the attempt to bring jobs back too. So it's like
you said
reindustrializing, reindustrializing
right,
as well.
but
I think that those jobs are going to go to the fucking.
But if what I'm hearing is correct, there are businesses that have already started coming back over here.
Yeah, they have already.
They already done started bringing the businesses back over here and everything. So I do think that's.
But that cost that build the deficit up a lot too, though. They brought some of those automotive jobs back. But that built the deficit. I was going to say they said some crazy number too. So,
but then, like most of this, it just doesn't make sense. One, so let's if we just start with infrastructure because that's where y'all was just at. Like bringing these jobs back means you have to build factories. If you think about like how long it's taken to build factories, that like I forget. What is it like 12 years for one of these like factories? Like it takes like a long extended period of time, right? But again, before we even get to like the tariffs, because we're talking about like the end result of what the tariffs would do, which is like bringing back jobs to America, and that like they're wanting to bring back manufacturing and industrial jobs back to America. But when you sit and listen to them talk, they're talking about bringing the business back to to America, not the jobs. The jobs they all say are soon to be automated. So, like, that's the trick to it. So they're like yes, the bigger business will be here. It's not bringing more jobs to the actual people, and so like that's another one of those little red herrings in which niggas it sounds good to like get. Like old MAGA on board to be like, we're going to get more jobs. Right, to get but you don't actually get any more jobs at all.
And I actually have y'all seen that ad that they're saying that this came from China, right? This ad of
we're talking about with American people doing it.
Chat.
Oh, tell Tone pull it up. This was actually funny, and I think it's actually real too.
It was.
It's not. It's AI generated, but I think that it's.
Keep going. It's almost you almost there. Right there.
Yeah. China was fucking with Americans with this one.
It was too.
Yeah, they can't see it yet, though. Yeah. And going to that part, one, these aren't going to be jobs that Americans specifically want to work, right? But also bringing back, let's just say hypothetically, these jobs actually were they was able to build the infrastructure to bring this back. They are getting this done for slave wages over there. Like we talking about like pennies on a dollar. Bringing it back here does what? And push inflation.
Triple the cost.
Yeah, so like now everything rises in cost. I
was actually listening to it.
Yeah. All right, so I guess I would love to hear the opposing thought.
Can I play this clip here?
Yeah.
This was talking, and this was actually I shared this a couple of weeks ago, but we ended up having a show last week. But this guy was, and y'all tell me if he lying or not.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I thought tariffs would only hurt the United States. Why are all of these other countries already backing down? For example, Vietnam, we hit them with a 50% tariff on all of their imports. All of a sudden, they're ready to talk about reducing their tariffs on us down to 0. How about India? Same story. They're already talking about reducing or fully eliminating their tariffs on U.S. imports. Same thing for Israel. The 27 countries of the European Union have proposed lowering car tariffs and increasing purchases of U.S. energy and U.S. military equipment. South Korea is looking at trade concessions. Thailand wants to increase imports from the United States and decrease their tariffs on American products. The American worker has been getting taken advantage of for decades, and our so-called leaders have been allowing it to happen. All it took was one president that was willing to put America and Americans first. And side note, to the Democrats who say tariffs don't work, are you going to tell all these countries, why did they have such steep tariffs on us? Wait a minute, I thought tariffs would only hurt the United States.
I think that it speaks to a bunch of different things. One, this doesn't speak to the American worker at all. So this speaks to the power of the American market. And we are the biggest consumers. So instead of like
Oh, but that does kind of go. If they're removing the tariffs on us, that means that our cost for the actual consumer goes down as well.
See, you said consumer, worker, and he used the word worker too.
No, I understand what you're saying, worker, but all the workers, the workers are still the consumers as well.
No,
so like the idea of like how tariffs is sold to working class America is that it's bringing back jobs.
Oh no, see that.
No, so with them, like they're saying like we will take less profit to keep this. So like we'll negotiate the whole thing because of America is still America. Like this doesn't mean that like America's right or that they like even that they have the tariffs at a reciprocal level because of like we can get to that in a second, but this means that America, you know what I mean? Like we still get to swing our dick.
Yeah. No,
that's like
this whole thing that Trump's doing is swinging, digging, dragging balls. Like
and that's like to me like most of what he spoke about. Most of these countries, like I can't say that he said the EU. I hadn't heard that the EU. I heard the EU was planning like counter terrorists, and then he put the pause on it. But the reality is that America and China are the two big dogs,
right?
And the thing is that China doesn't need America, and America. Well, we can get to that in a second. We're not quite there yet, but what he was speaking about is still detrimental to the worker, though, because if these companies that's over there are willing to take losses to keep American companies over there, that's bad for workers. That means that's even more of the idea that them jobs ain't even gonna come back, and if they do come back, it's pushing inflation. Like it's a like both of the I don't see where like either one of those are positive because like again, if we're looking at how like right now what's in question is the idea of how did they get the reciprocal number of what they believe the tariff should be at, where America is at a trade deficit for most of these countries, but that's because of most of these countries we're the bigger consumer,
right?
And from my understanding, a lot of like not the algorithm, but the formula that they use is more so calculating trade deficit and trying to make that even, which isn't reciprocal,
right?
Especially if we're the bigger consumer.
Getting the fuck off,
right?
Yeah,
but we got the power to get the fuck off,
right?
Because
we kind of designed the trade system anyway,
right?
We designed the trade system and redesigned it when it deemed necessary for us to get off again.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
is America the first country to do tariffs? Is that something?
No.
Well,
they've been having tariffs on us the whole time.
Yeah, they had tariffs on us the whole time.
We haven't had tariffs.
Oh, you talking about like going back to like 1910, like
1700s and stuff. I think it was something like in the Constitution about tariffs and shit.
Yeah, and I guess there's also like there is context to why with like America they did have like more, like they allowed more tariffs. It was something dealing with like after World War II and like those countries needing to like rebuild into where we kind of like allowed it to be like a little bit of a different,
right,
just for like them to kind of build up. I understand.
And
like to me,
also has to do with the dollar being the reserve currency.
Yeah,
so like a lot of those things kind of intertwine themselves into the reason why they always had the tariffs higher than we had on them. Like there's definitely a reason for that, and that is true. And Trump they're using that as the sound bite as to why it makes sense for us to do it. Like they've been getting the best end of the deal, but I mean, as you look into it, it's like though.
Yeah, like Steve said it best. Like Vietnam will never be like even inside like like we're always going to be inside a trade deficit with these niggas because of like we consume way much more.
Right.
And they labor cheap as hell. It's like we win in the bargain, but now we're gonna win and get the fuck off. Inside your terms. And like to me, like that's the tough part about it. But going to like again what he was saying, if all those things are true and it works itself out, I don't see how that's beneficial for the American worker though.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the idea is that if it's more businesses back over here to avoid the tariffs.
No, but what he's saying is that they're willing to cut and give reprieve, which means they're trying to keep that shit over there.
Which means they're giving breaks to the business.
Yeah, they're giving breaks to America just to keep them over there.
Yeah.
But
Like
they're not
that,
giving,
that's what they would be doing.
but they're not giving the breaks to us as workers. They're giving breaks to the Fortune
business.
500
no,
companies.
but this meme wasn't addressing that. This meme was about he said Thailand, for example.
But okay, so
Thailand saying like, "Hey, fuck it, no tariffs," because we want to keep the trade between the countries still.
Let me make sure I understand this straight.
Okay.
Because I'm okay. So if they keep the businesses over there, the businesses is technically over there. Then so if whenever they do business over here, then it would basically they would pass those tariff prices on to the workers. Is what you're saying?
You're talking about like how the general tariffs work. Yes, but according to what you just played, they're also willing to just say fuck it. No
I
tariffs.
didn't hear where he said what you're saying.
He said a couple countries was like, we're willing to go to 0% tariffs.
Yeah,
you can play it again.
Let me play that again.
Okay.
I'm gonna play that again just to make sure because
Wait a minute. I thought tariffs would only hurt the United States. Why are all of these other countries already backing down? For example, Vietnam, we hit them with a 50% tariff on all of their imports. All of a sudden, they're ready to talk about reducing their tariffs on us down to 0. How about India?
Yes,
Same story. They're already talking about reducing or fully eliminating their tariffs on U.S. imports.
Nothing.
Same thing for Israel. The 27 countries of the European Union have proposed.
okay, so like just essentially trying to understand.
Okay.
Doesn't that mean if they're removing their tariffs, doesn't that mean the cost of goods comes down?
No, so for consumer,
that's talking about the worker, and that's where we were kind of getting in. That's where,
like consumer wise, like this could work in a sense of getting like a reduced price in goods by a little bit. Like who knows what that reduced price would be?
Like, yeah.
That doesn't like this. What he sold to the working class MAGA is bringing back jobs. This right here will be the opposite of companies coming back to America.
Well, I can't say I can't necessarily say that from the entrepreneur perspective. This gives opportunity for a lot of people to get into business who are able to give people jobs. So this does give the opportunity to establish new businesses that would not be established.
And tell about that. And he gave it early on, like when it first started. Tone was, remember you telling me about the price that you were paying to get your thing shipped. That go ahead, you mind telling them that too? Oh yeah. So like with me, I was paying. My stuff was coming from Canada though, so that was just the difference. But they end up not they're not doing the tariffs. They ended up not doing it. Like as far as charging the tariffs on the prices, the company I work with ended up saying they wasn't doing it. Okay, well I'm just saying just the idea because it helps to understand.
Idea, so it was like that I was gonna have to change my company. Then I get a very good price from the company that I'm going to, but I was gonna have to change from them to another company within America if those tariffs would have affected that business essentially, but it didn't end up affecting it.
If those tariffs, what do you mean?
Like if everything would have went by and they would have started charging more tariff prices on stuff, it would have affected my business as far as I would have had to pay more. Like the prices actually went up on where I was ordering
right
temporarily.
But then he was saying that would have in turn what he ended up having to find was something here, then which he would have had it would cost less to order it here than it would have cost to order it there, in which that would have been funneling that money back into our American businesses and building American businesses,
right. And
that could help the entrepreneur, or that can help. I mean,
that can. But I think most things that we can get in America, we typically do get in America. Like this. Like lumber, when it comes down to lumber, like we go to Canada. Yes. When we go to like everything that deals with phones, batteries,
that's all China shit.
Cars, like most of like the bigger like our actual things that we deal with, not necessarily like inside the entrepreneurial space of like things that like thinking about like what we invest and do entrepreneurship things with in America. And then what are the industries that are in America? Or the industries that we're talking about getting tariffed. I think that these are like completely different things. Even Tesla is an American made company or an American company, but they get all their parts imported. Right. And so even whether it's the Trump's tariffs or like whatever, the American consumer overall takes the L. There's going to be sectors that will benefit.
I'm still kind of lost here.
Which I guess so. Like the iPhone is going to go up, the Android is going to go up because of everything is imported in here.
Well, those aren't going to go up because those are on the exclusion list right now. But yeah,
like if all right, so clothing, manufacturing, like in any of the all these major things that we import to America. Like all of these things that we don't have the infrastructure to build right now. Like the amount of things that entrepreneurs do. Like, so what would be like if you could name like a couple entrepreneurial things that would benefit from this in general?
I'm trying to figure that out. As far as I'm kind of lost right now
because I think it's like so like
15 different ways right now.
Like there's like a space where, because so much of American like entrepreneurship in America still deals with like getting a lot of goods from outside of America. Like whether you're talking about like Amazon, drop shipping, any of this shit, all this shit is still coming from out of America. If you're talking about like if the girls is doing hair or nails and shit like that, it's coming from out of America. You're doing construction, that's coming from out of America. Like having the business is cool, but most of like the actual
so one of the things I did here was that a lot of those businesses are transferring to having American head. They've already done started doing this. So they like a whole lot of businesses have moved over here.
Are you talking about like the headquarters? And that's why I'm saying
are moving over. So if they move over here and they're working on American ground, doesn't that benefit Americans?
I don't know, because
I mean, ultimately, I told you what I think about it. I think in the long run, what I think is going to happen in the long run. I'm just trying to find.
So you're talking about more companies coming over here, like the electric cars they're trying to have, so they can sell them over here. They come in opening up jobs.
Well, they ain't gonna let the China electric cars come over here.
But
just not without some
foreign companies.
To go to so what you just said is if Trump's. So that's different than what he's talking about still. But I will address what you're saying. Like what he's talking about would be if inside that perfect world, jobs don't come back here.
Mm-hmm.
If Trump tariffs stays, jobs will come to America. And so with Trump's tariffs staying, all of the guys that are for his tariff staying and bringing back bringing businesses back to America, they're also saying, and this is like this is why I say like it's a double-edged sword. They're also saying that these jobs are going to be automated.
Yeah, it only makes sense.
And that's like right. This is what the words out of their mouths.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so it's bringing the headquarters. So yes, the big business does win.
Mm-hmm.
The American worker doesn't win.
Well, I mean the headquarters and then the automation is going to be in the manufacturing portion of it. Like the building the cars, and which it's already kind of doing. But like as far as the headquarters coming, those do create jobs. Like the shit, you can look at the Wells Fargo headquarters. Like that employs they probably got over 10,000 people in that place. You know what I mean? There are headquarters for these companies that definitely are beneficial to the cities, and that's why the cities actually fight so hard to have them come to those cities. So I won't say that they don't create jobs, but at the same time,
but he sold to the
no. I understand. Nobody. I mean, I'm not saying that this nigga be telling the truth.
Oh no, I'm just saying like he said to the manufacturer workers, we're bringing back jobs. That's what he said.
Makes sense. It only makes sense that if you were to bring them, they are to be automated.
This is the other part about it. Either way, regardless of the tariffs, what does the future for the American worker look like anyway? Like I don't think it looks that different either way.
Which they are automating their jobs anyway now too. Yeah,
I don't think it looks that different automation. Either way.
All right, my bad. You said for the American workers. Well, yes, I agree. Still, yes. I agree. It doesn't change a lot. And that's kind of my point.
Only benefit to it. Oh, but then you got to talk about the inflation. Well, if you're going to automate it first, okay. So look, this is what I was thinking. If we can say that there's not much change, okay, but what side does the change lean towards? So it sounds positive or negative. So if you bring the jobs, let's say the jobs come here, they do become automated, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you also get the headquarters. That there are some jobs that will be created for people as well here.
Yeah, I just don't know how many. Like once it becomes automated.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, what do you?
There are no businesses that come
right.
Over
it seems like it's still even though it may not be as a big of a positive as he had or promoted it to be. There's still, and this is why I say that's why I'm just kind of waiting to see, because like even if it is like, let's say it's a couple 100,000, you know what I mean? That's still
100,000
jobs. You know what I mean? That's
like, I don't know like how much bringing over like headquarters, because like you're thinking about like let's say Wells Fargo as it exists now, like eventually most of those jobs are going to get like automated
for sure.
So then we're talking about C-suite niggas.
But what I'm saying is that even still, let's say that eventually, yes, but in the beginning, we are going to have these positions to be filled, and these will be people that have opportunities.
But not if they're saying that it's going to be automated.
But then automation is going to come down the line. So I mean, hell, we all damn near going to be looking, trying to figure out what the
I get, but that's why when he said like if it's different for American consumers, not consumers, workers, it's probably not a big difference. I think that there's going to be like a bigger immediate hit to the American in general, and that's like on the consumer side of it. That'd be where I argue it.
You know, I understand like that
because like
inflation being what
every job that you're talking about isn't going to be for the average worker anyway.
You're not
like everybody that he pitched this to, like everybody, like it's
I'm not
like this will be like niggas that got like college degrees and can like work inside a corporate scenario inside some capacity and that. Like that, those are the people that you might be able to like get your shit off for like a couple years. But
and I think that when you come
the average person,
they may, and it's all about how they unload it. Like if you bring the jobs here, it goes straight to automating everything that's in this manufacturer. Like if that's how they go to it, that will. But then also it costs so much more to do it here, so that's damn near like the only option that you'll have. So
like you think they go because they got to build brand new infrastructure. You don't think that like when they're building it, it's going.
I got an unpacked topic for you, bro. While we on this topic, you might want to use it. I'm just gonna tell you while I'm thinking about it, because or we can discuss it on here too. But basically, just like the future of the black worker and the black entrepreneur, or not even the black worker.
Yeah, that's a great topic.
The future, the entrepreneur and
or
the
just
American,
worker.
the American worker and the American entrepreneur.
Yeah,
it'd be an interesting conversation to have because either way, we're looking at something. We're on the cusp.
I agree.
Vastly different.
If you want my vote
to be,
go ahead and start legislating automation. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah, you better start doing it and start coming into some like what Andrew Yang was talking about. Some kind of
so really quick. Let's try and hit. Look like we at 46. Let's try and hit by the 5-minute America versus China. We still gonna get these memes off. Maybe we can condense it a little bit to 2 each. Is that cool? I know y'all got some fire questions too. That I think is gonna be like engaging. I want to get at least a good 25.
On that a little longer than I thought too.
Yeah. But America versus China. Is there any hard takes on there? Any strong takes?
I just looked up. Well, I looked this up before, and I was just trying to see exactly what are these things that we are importing. Of course, we already know the batteries. Okay. You know what I mean? We know that the phone.
What are our biggest imports?
Yeah. So, like it said, machinery and mechanical appliances. This category includes machinery, nuclear reactor parts, and other mechanical appliances, accounting for a large share of U.S. imports from China. Then we got furniture, bedding, lamps, toys, games, sports equipment, paint, and other miscellaneous items. And I'm not going to go and read all of the chemicals, plastic, rubber, leather goods, smartphones, computers, toys, batteries, home appliances, light fixtures and home decor, textile, and apparel.
What niggas gonna do?
I mean, but you could get a lot of that stuff from other countries.
You can get, and that's essentially what they're doing too.
Oh wait, is that all that's from China?
All of that's from China.
Oh damn! I thought we was like
the market definitely being affected. But the other side of that is that when the consumers become unwilling to, they need the consumers just as much to spend the money.
Well,
like so, it's
that's why their market is doing what it's doing. Even their market over there, the as far as the stock market, their market is going is doing the same thing ours is doing.
Because
they're just going down.
To our consumers
a little bit though.
So that
this is like the thing that I've
that 10-year bond is very important as it relates to why that market looks like it does.
I about to say I don't know a lot about that. I do know that and that's what I was going to kind of let you get off. But what I was going to say is that so Americans, we can like a lot of our shit comes from them.
Yes.
Right. And we're like a piece of their consumer base. But to my understanding, but yeah, okay. Girl gotta look at his shoe. Made in China.
Where these bitches come from? Damn, these bitches come from China.
Yeah, made in China. But
definitely.
But the thing is that when it comes to like our market share, and I heard this talked about like where if we did this 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the impact would have been much heavier to where we could have them niggas like Thailand right now, right? But when it comes down to our market share inside, like what they're selling and what is that, their exports, I think that like we're between like 20 and 16. It's like between 26 and 16%. I can't remember exactly what it is.
Also,
but
earlier, I think they were saying like 15%.
Yeah, so
15% of their
right.
Their,
but they've been
exports.
working with other
so,
countries.
But so that means, think about that. That means about 85% is already outsourced.
Yes.
We rely on them way more than they rely on us. They could actually take the hit for a while, a lot longer than we could take the hit, because 85% of their market
is somewhere else.
What's
the percentage of our imports that come from there? What percentage? I think that'd be a good number.
Yeah, it would be. I just know that them niggas supplying a lot.
But a lot of the stuff,
and that's where this is where Elon Musk.
But I'm saying a lot of the stuff we don't have to make Nikes in China. We can go to India too. There's other countries.
That's why the global tariff didn't make any fucking sense.
Right?
What you say?
It's dark.
Oh no, it's good. It's hold on. 7.5. In 2020, it was 7.5%
of our imports come from China.
Of our exports go to China.
No. He's talking about imports. Like, how much do we use Chinese shit?
Oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah, we like them niggas don't give a shit about American shit.
They ain't buying the goddamn thing.
And we got sweatshops over here to do all that shit that y'all do.
No, I make the Balenciaga for $20.
Now, ironically enough, the thing they care about in China that we do provide is our culture. That's about it.
Yeah, our culture for sure.
That's one thing they did put a tariff on American movies.
Oh yeah, they said that shit gonna hurt.
Yeah, Hollywood,
because they're a big consumer.
Yeah,
it sounds like it would have been worse, but it's our China shares of U.S. imports was 13.4%, but that's 438.9 billion.
Okay.
So only 13% of
13.4%.
I mean, we could take the hit too. Then that's not all of our shit ain't coming from China.
It just looked like it. You go and start grabbing shit. It looked like all of it come from there. But
no, you gotta look at. I've started seeing like made in Malaysia, and you'll start seeing other countries.
And also bedding. You know what I mean, on your linen, because you get them good counts. You get them good count sheets and the comforters and shit. That shit come from like Middle East and shit. But you also got to look at the sectors in which that I just read off.
Yeah,
that's a lot of the important conveniences that's like the American. You taking away like the American conveniences in those things. Though it's 13.4%.
But that's not necessities though. Like we'll be okay not buying Nikes.
Yeah, but
what about your phone in your car?
It's one of those things.
My car's South Korean.
Consumerism is
my car Korean.
What that phone is, nigga.
Your TV.
My last car was German.
Yeah, your TVs, your what you got, your phones, your TVs, your computers,
it's tech.
Anything electronic.
Yeah, like it's the tech sector that fuck niggas.
That price is already up. I build computers and just GPUs by themselves within the past.
Wait till they double because we can't get them sweatshop workers.
Hey, think about what you can do as like the entrepreneur right now. You got that hell of a credit line. Go and rack up on some shit and be able to come through.
I heard about companies having a whole bunch of iPhones shipped over already. Like
I heard that too.
They was doing it with rice too.
Yeah.
You said what?
Rice. No, I literally heard that.
Like the soybean shit too. Like that.
Yeah.
That was like one of our big things.
Oh,
that we export
okay.
to them is soybean.
I thought you was being.
No, I wasn't even being. It was what the nigga said. Yeah, it's rice fields out there. We ain't got rice fields here in America.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
All right, so I guess that does lend us to dun, 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 dun.
Oh, the memes. Hold on.
That was horrible. Y'all can go for second. I mean, y'all can go for first. I'm going second. All right, Johnny.
Bro.
He going first.
Okay, all right, cool.
I'm going for. I ain't really got too many, bro.
So are we just doing two, or we? All right, two.
And I think I actually got some pictures.
Or we can go like a three if it's two quick ones.
Go to. I got some pictures in there too. That was just like some funny pictures that I thought would be some conversation. Go back. What I want to do? Give me. Give me Ja.
Oh, that's the goat.
Where?
That goes back
That
to
nigga, the goat
Ja Morant.
celebrator.
Dang, I done passed him somewhere.
He right above the one that we did with the with China. With China showed us how fat
China.
workers.
Kung Flu.
Yeah, there you go. Y'all know where that's from?
Oh, I don't
GTA.
know, but it looks
Grand
like
Theft Auto.
a video game.
You
Yeah.
pull up the little joint. I think it's somewhere on the D-pad. You pull up the joint and show you all of the guns you
Oh,
can
yeah,
choose
okay,
for at
yeah.
the time. So what do y'all think about this? We was actually almost going to talk about this earlier. You know what I mean? John, now he throwing nays at motherfuckers.
I like it.
At first he
I like it.
got
And
caught with the gun, then he got caught with it again. Then it was a fake gun the third time. Was it 3? It was 3, wasn't it? A fake
I don't know.
gun the
That shit was
third
like
time.
4 years ago. We don't
Then
care
the
about
nigga-
that no more.
Then he just shot at the motherfucker the other day.
Let that nigga have it on the bench.
And then
Truthfully, the nigga on the bench also let him have it first.
That was
but-
Buddy Hill.
that-
Buddy Hill shooting.
Yeah, he said rah. And Josh said, you know, rah. That shit self-defense, nigga.
no,
Hell yeah.
Bro, my thing-
Out here shooting like a number.
yeah, no. I think at some point, bro, like we have to stop like making every. I understand the joking of it, but like at some point we have to look at how influential all these entertainers and sports figures are to the next generation.
I don't think that
We can as adults look at this shit as just games and everything, just shit and giggles. We can listen to niggas talk about crashing out all day, and it doesn't actually make me change my mind on what the fuck I'm about to do today.
Ja
But, like,
Morant
for-
celebration is not leading. Like,
Well,
it's
I'm
not
saying it's
increasing
not
the
even
rhetoric.
a celebration.
Kids
It's
still
the-
gonna be
it's
playing
the-
with BB guns. They still gonna go out there.
I
They
mean,
still gonna do
what I'm
all of
saying-
that stuff. So what is him doing a fake gun?
Hey,
But he moved from the face. Ain't
Now
nobody
he's throwing names.
throwing grenades. That's the safest thing.
Yeah,
Like, I like him throwing grenades now. You
Like-
know, it'd be fire when he take it out and throw it. The crowd be like, "Boom!" That shit would be so fire.
no, what he need to do next game is get a rocket launch on their ass.
no. That's a good.
That's a good.
That's a good. That's too close. It's too close.
Hey,
That-
no, it'd be funny if he threw the nade and then like dove or some shit.
Yeah, he already do the ear thing. I like it.
Well, I think it's pretty.
It's done caught too.
But
I done
no.
seen the kids. They done started it.
See, that be the
I love it.
I threw a grenade at work the other day.
Nigga made a sale.
But no, it's freedom of speech though. Like I mean, in the
But
NBA,
all
you
that-
don't want to be the no fun league. Like I mean, people watch.
But we don't have to go with like guns and like
That ain't a gun.
guns and shit and killing people.
You only
as
talking
your
about.
celebration. Well,
you only talking
I
about
actually
it.
have fun with the shit.
You-
When I
Niggas
say
been throwing arrows off. That's killing
Yeah, that's-
niggas.
man,
That's mine.
Look
the,
at-
the bow and arrow is fire.
the bow and
the bow
arrow
and
was
arrow
fire.
was
When
fire.
Usain Bolt was
Nigga,
fire.
niggas. No, what's it? Mikael Bridges. This nigga. After every time he hit shots.
Yeah,
Ja ain't
it-
the only nigga doing this
Yeah,
shit.
but John the only nigga that done got caught online with the
But
pistols.
it's called
on the
shooting,
motherfucking-
bro. If you can't make
I
a gun
understand what
reference
you're saying.
when
I
you're
understand.
shooting, like
Niggas had the GTA passcode on his shits before.
He had the
oh
tattoo,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, that
Yeah.
shit was tough,
No,
right?
that shit, that
yeah.
infinite ammo,
Yeah.
that shit was hard. I would have never thought of that idea. That was actually a fire ass idea for a tattoo. I ain't gonna hate on that. But I think at some point you got to chill the fuck out, bro.
He don't.
It seemed like
No, I think he had to
young
move
niggas
away from
crash out
guns.
behavior.
I like the fact. I like him going to
Grenades.
grenades.
I ain't gonna lie.
Like some shit on fire next.
When I'm on 2K, that's all I be talking about
Yeah,
is throwing
fucking
grenades.
Yeah.
Start a fire on
Like,
their
like,
ass.
do it.
Light the grill on their ass next week.
Oh! This is my last one, Tone. Scroll up to Edwards. It's right above the white lady that say why relationships are failing.
Who's worse for the culture, Ja or Anthony Edwards?
Oh man.
Hey, just look. Check him out. You seen that?
Oh yeah.
The bitches say too deep to pull out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't think those are real, but that shit's hilarious though.
It'd be funny if that was
Bro,
real.
that'd
It would
funny
be.
if it was real.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of steps on your toes, but I'm tapping out. That
Yeah,
was
that's
me
what I'm
for
about to
the day.
say. I think that'll probably jump. Yeah. Pause. It's no reason.
Yeah, boy.
I ain't even want
That was about to be a wild.
Yeah.
We were talking about in too deep. Now you want to jump on shit. That's crazy.
We can start off with Brian real quick.
Oh, it's Kendall.
Yeah, but I'm gonna
Y'all
lead it to
niggas hate.
I'm gonna lead it to a different.
What the
question.
hell?
I know that.
What
actually was real.
that has nothing
That
to do with
was
taking.
real. His is real, right?
Yeah, let me throw the actual
Yeah.
thing. Like, yeah.
What the hell, LeBron James?
So no, keep it up for a second. As
The hell?
we talk about it.
What the hell?
So LeBron James did announce the Barbie collab.
The little Barbie.
But
So
a
what?
part of that, that has happened. If you could look and see, audience, y'all can see it a little bit clearer. There's like the packaging. There's like his essentials and shit like that. And that's been going viral over social
for sure.
So just having fun for a second. What would be a part of your action figure accessory package?
Before you go, Johnny, hey, shout out to A Black. You seen the one he did? He animated it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Dude was like moving, like that shit was actually fire. Shout out to A Black. That joke was fire. Go ahead, Johnny.
Oh, I'm probably gonna have my vape in there. both of them.
Which one? I was about to say
both of them. I'm probably gonna have both of them on there. I'm probably gonna have my Birkenstocks and a hat. I don't know. The hat would be you could change the hat out. You'd be able to swap the hat.
I feel like a hat be a part of mine. You gonna have the FBA, not the FBA. You gonna have the Indian hair. I'm gonna just have it like nice shiny bald head, and you take the cap off. But then you got to switch out the Dreamville hats. Like how do you package an argument? That'll be inside mine.
Oh yeah, cardboard box.
Yeah, it'll be the package right over there.
That's gonna be real.
Yeah. Shout out to Old Head Senior.
Man, this nigga didn't even box. He didn't even box me, bro.
Old Head Senior said it, dog.
He didn't even box me. He been using that shit way too loose. That's why his box got hold.
And Scotch tape.
What else? I'm trying to think of maybe like I don't know, like how, I guess like a microphone because of rapper / podcaster, or some shit like that. Red, would it be inside your box outside them Newports?
Be a box in a box.
I have a baby.
A baby.
I seen some of those with the babies, and I have my little nana. We got them. We be bailing out. Then, if I'm being honest, probably a pack of Newports.
A little red.
It might be a pack of Newports in that bitch.
100s.
Yeah, hard box, not the salt pack.
Exactly.
No salt pack, even though they cheaper. Fuck that.
The salt pack be done by the end of the week.
I do hard, bro. You can't do that shit in my sector. You can't have the salt.
Last 3 cigarettes be snapped.
Yeah, it will be bent all up. The last one. I don't know.
Tone,
Oh, yeah.
talk to it.
Probably your glasses.
My kit would be a deluxe kit. It's gonna be the jack of all trades kit, bro. So I have a computer that's there with the Adobe Creative Cloud on the screen, and they got a free subscription on the back for like a month. And then,
hey, now mine's would be the Final Cut, and I know the little back end code to make sure I get the free trial every 90 days. Every 90 days, that bitch refresh.
Bro, I pulled that for years, man. I started paying for Adobe over the past 3 years, baby. But yeah, I have that. I have my Bible, of course. I have me a blunt. It would be in the kit. Be like, how you got a Bible and a blunt? I have it.
Bible and a blunt is actually a dope joint to cut be in your packaging. You got a blunt and a Bible. That's kind of dope.
They just think you a Rasta.
Oh, you'll still try to keep
Rastafari.
Let me see what else. Of course, yeah, the microphone. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. If you can go to the homie from what's the name? Grits and Eggs. Right below Gabrielle Union. I think that this would be interesting. If this is light, then we'll.
But now we have a whole new generation of men that are finna enter into the academic spaces, right? And so then what's the next thing? We got that hustle culture shit. Now we seen this pop off around 2016, to be honest. This is the rise of people like Gary V, Grant Cardone, Earn Your Leisure, all these different people that, and one of the things that they will often say is like, fuck college. Like, you don't need college. Tony Robbins, fuck college. You got to chase your dream. You got to chase your passion. Now, what that does is equate education with a waste of time, but incentivizes labor and instant gratification. Delayed gratification of getting a 4-year degree. But the accomplishment and the journey, no, that's not what they say. They want you to get out there, hustle right now, apply yourself. I went from niggas that say goofy shit. I went from $10 to 10 million in 10 months.
How? What's your connect?
Selling drugs?
Yeah, who your connect?
Yeah,
bro?
who's your connect?
Yeah.
Because it ain't God.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen it go from 10 to 10 million in 10 months, but they do shit like that because it's alliteration. It sounds good.
Yeah.
This is my 10x theory. This is how it went from $10 to 10 million in 10 months. It be EDM. $10 million. Niggas is excited.
You know, you ever get 10 mil?
Shit.
10 months?
10 mil in 10 months.
They got a 10-year sentence.
You can stop it there. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Like the idea of there is a push for like quote unquote hustle, get it now culture, and I thought that the idea of like delayed gratification and
I think
also maneuvering people away from education.
I do got a pushback though, because I think
I
right
gotta
around
that
that
one.
time when the Gary V stuff had came out, where I first started hearing them, I think it was a lot of people. Well, at least from my point of view, there's a lot of people who did the education, who went to school, got these degrees, and then didn't end up working in their field. And so a lot of time people can look back and be like, well, damn, I could have just went straight into the workforce and I'm gonna end up in this spot anyway. So I think when it comes to education, I think the key has to be, because it can get misconstrued. You can't go there for 4 years and get out with a bullshit degree,
Period.
and then be back at the bottom.
Which is generally what
when
we
you-
select.
when
Because
you-
STEM's got too much math.
It's too hard.
It's just some
it's
extra
too-
math.
it's
I think
too-
we steer away
it's
from
too
math.
difficult. Yeah,
specifically.
I did too. But if we're gonna go to college and pay that much money, there has to be like an intentionality
Mhm.
behind it.
Well,
in
I
certain
think
majors.
that's I agree with that. But there is also like every study and thing that shows that whether it's the humanities, what do they call it, the women's
Arts.
studies major, or you get in STEM, over a lifetime, a person with a college degree does earn more than a person that doesn't.
But I think
That's like statistically proven across
I think
the board.
there's other things outside of just a piece of paper. I think it's more about the
Yeah,
way you live your life. You go off to school. There's a lot of things that come with the school aspect.
So
other
like the delayed gratification part that you learn a lot of lessons.
Well, I mean, if you do,
That's what
if,
he was.
What I'm saying is, you're gonna get delayed gratification on really anything
On
that's like
most
real
things,
life.
yeah.
Like if you even if you go into like I'm a trade guy. I say like it takes a lot longer to go to school and get a degree than it does for you to get a trade and actually be making money while you're building debt on that end. And so, like to me, and I'm not saying education is a negative. I'm just saying that if you're not going for specific things. For my children, I'm going to say that we're going to try to just do some trades because like I said, it takes less time, it costs less money, and you can actually start getting into making money much sooner. And the especially if you're going like an entrepreneur route, like your ceiling is wherever you stop at. It's not about like, of course, there are some in this sector as well in tradesmen. There are still a lot of semblances of like the racial,
the barriers.
you got that racial thing in there a lot, but I mean that's in I've been on both sides, so like I've seen it on the other side as well. But like, yeah, for me it's just about the amount of money. Like if you have a friend that goes and does 4 years in college and you go into trade and you look at those that you would have made more money than the debt that they have after the 4 years. Like that they generally motherfucker be on accrued like damn near 100,000. Niggas be up damn near 100,000 in debt in 4 years. In those 4 years, you've been boots to ground, actually generating revenue and building. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's just me. I understand. I definitely value education, and it's just not. Yeah, it's not like the go-to that I say. And then also my experience in college was just I made a lot of bad decisions during that time period too. So that put like a negative thing to me too. And then see the military is also another option, like where you add money versus and still get the schooling for the free. It's like I've kind of, I guess it's more of like the route that I chose that was like different than like most of my homies. That kind of made me see like a different, you know what I mean? I just have a different lens than most of the homies that I have, because most of the niggas went to college and stayed in college and got degrees and all that shit. Where it's like, you know what I mean? Me, I just kind of went a different route.
Yeah, I think that it is beneficial for our Black youth to be competitive on the world stage at what everybody else is competing at. So I definitely would not want to decentivize Black kids from competing on the world stage at what the world is competing against,
I mean,
and keeping us away from being competitive inside that market. Do I think that trades is also good? Yes, I do believe that is great. I would also say that the two people that the two groups that are primary tradesmen are also at the bottom tier of the socioeconomic ladder when we look at like when we start like looking at like what groups
Hispanics and blacks.
Yeah, which groups earn the most across the board. And I personally would say that what I'm going to push, like, again, I don't think that there's anything wrong with trades. And I think that if college and schooling isn't for you, that is definitely like a really, really fire route for you to take. But I would also say that I would love for our best, brightest, and anybody that can be to compete against where everybody else is competing at. Whether it's the Indians, it's the not South Africans, the Nigerians, the white people. Like, I would love for us to be competitive where the competition is also. That'd be my spiel.
And we're not gonna stay alone, but I don't disagree about that. But look at like even in the AI space, these companies that are hiring the people that the individuals who are, that's certifications. That's like these niggas are like compete. You don't necessarily have to go to school. Like we got the homie Keith, got other homie a dude that my sister was dating. He make over 100K a year. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have any degree. This is all certification. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is that there are many and just like Steve said, and Steve made a good point too. Community college is also, if you're going to
that's the education.
Community, I know that's why I was going. You know what I mean? I'm going to give I give some love to it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the worst part about it is just building debt, and then most people don't pay student loans off in their entire life. They don't pay them off, so then that's something that's going to probably follow you to your death.
Oh, just keep making them minimals.
And you talk about probate. But I'm talking about, this is not debt that goes away. So like your family would then have to pay that debt out of your estate, which is through, you know what I mean? This is like, all right, I'm going to, but go ahead, we can move forward.
And which I guess just to land on the last end of it. I was so this is one of the beauties. I don't think I'm gonna do the Gabrielle Union one, but one of the beauties of AAU basketball is like, especially like right now, I'm kind of getting like parent mode, so I get to like just sit in the crowd, not crowd, but like even at practices, I'll be getting to kind of like politic with the parents a little bit. When the coach don't want me to like help and whatever, that's his own thing. But when I do get to kind of like politic and shit, it's always amazing the parents that you meet that, you know, you be at the games with and who does XYZ, and you be like, oh shit. Like, I'm just so happy I started this random ass conversation. Or I'm just so happy that like I'm just kind of like the version of a person that I am. So like I'm gonna tell every kid, like, hey, you need, like, next game, be confident. Next game, make sure that you XYZ da 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 da. And you know, like, you never know whose son you're talking to, right? But like me, I'm gonna do that with all the kids because I just love kids. That's just naturally me. So like we was at practice yesterday, and one of the kids, his son goes to he goes to Providence Day. So like the conversation started off just kind of like the whole private school back and forth thing. Like how do you I think maybe it's one parent that wanted to get their kid into a private school, and he was kind of breaking down because his sons went there from the beginning to end. It's a black dude. Son, hell of an athlete too. But it's a black dude. So like he just breaking down the shit. And you know, I walk away and I'm just doing shit with the coach, and I come back and they like now they kind of just talk about shit. And Wayne's like, oh, hey, you know, he worked with the Cloud. And I'm like, oh shit. So you know, I'm just start asking random ass questions.
We don't know what the fuck the Cloud is, right?
Like iCloud, Google Cloud.
Okay.
Like Google Cloud.
Okay, gotcha.
He works for Google, so it's Google Cloud.
Okay, gotcha.
And so you know, like I'm asking questions on like a on like a programmer level. So like I'm like, damn, you worried about automation hitting your job and da 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 da.
Yeah.
But he's like, well, like I'm a product manager. Not like, you know, most guys are like project managers. He's a product manager. So like he's like the CEO of like major sweeping things that come out from like Google, like from and like he like certain infrastructure
like
things,
Google Drive or Google.
Yeah. And
not like code, but actual products.
Yeah. So he's like the over guy. So I still was like picking his brain, but like he's like top 3-4 guy on the East Coast when it comes down to Google. But like he was also just chopping game of like he was running through a bunch of shit. Like he's gonna be a parent that I'm gonna really continue building with. Like he prior to Google, he sat and like he talked about how he had, and he like my questions led it to him. He wasn't somebody that was just like outwardly giving this, but through just how I kind of like asked questions, he kind of like went through like he's had multiple startups that he has sold, and like he learned how even through like the negotiation and lacking of like understanding early on, like he took a lot. Not he didn't lose on like one of the startups he built, but
Probably could have sold it for a lot more.
But he could have sold it for a lot more. And like with that, he ended up showing me like this little app that shows you one-to-one comparisons of salaries and like this whole different shit. Saying all that to say though, we were talking about like our kids and then like college XYZ. One of his main things was that like as long as you got a degree, that's just like the foot in the door for like a lot of, especially once you get away from the programming jobs are going to leave soon. But like he was kind of like naming out like project, like if you understand infrastructure and like the flow of things and you're able to be inside that space, you're good. That's the minimum for that is just like a degree. Like it's not like necessarily specified at what degree, but he was saying like just the door entry for that part. Coding, yes, that's metric based. What they call it, meritocracy. But getting a little bit further up, it's more so product managers. And he was running down how like everybody that's somebody at these companies, they started as project managers, not coders or programmers. It's more about understanding infrastructure than it is about like being like this brilliant genius when it comes down to like coding or languages and shit like that.
No, that's definitely what I've heard. I got a homie that he's like on the in between, going between the coders and the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's something.
I'm done.
Business. I was just adding to it.
Who's next?
Who's next? That'll be me.
We got to hurry up, Johnny.
I got.
You got quick ones. You got long ones. Pause.
What is Shorty doing with the fucking tape?
Speaking of long ones,
exactly.
Oh, you got some grits and eggs too?
Hey, you can play that with no. I only got 2. I'll save that one for next week. It's funny though.
Papi, I know Greek. I like him. He
is funny. But let me get the G Herbo son at the top.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
I think you might have to slide over.
Kyron Lacey lost his life by suicide.
You got to hit on the video, yeah.
Y'all call me a YN. I don't want y'all to call me that. Please. And it's my birthday. Please make that dream happen. I need y'all to call me a YN.
Young man.
And that stands for young man. Please.
Shout out.
Y'all,
with the little Naruto jump, like I like
son.
it.
His son looked just like him.
Me and Ray was having a conversation last week.
What was it?
About the YN.
Oh.
And I don't think that's
when you go take this. That's when you go take this. First thing before you say that, let me just say something about the actual meme. We can talk about that. But that boy, you can tell that boy daddy in his life.
Okay.
That's some shit your daddy talk. That's some shit that come from your daddy.
Yeah.
That's some shit that come from your daddy. I can tell you that now. But go ahead. We can go and get in there.
But yeah, no, he had a discussion about being called a YN and whether that's a disrespectful term or not.
No. He said don't leave out shit. He said that it's better for a white man to say YNs than say the N-word with the N-word.
Okay.
That it's more acceptable. Like you should be okay with them saying YN, but if they say the N-word by itself, then you should be hot about that. That's the line. But what I was telling him was it's the same shit. Because what you're doing is when you say YN, you're talking about a specific character, look, and type of young black man. And what you're associating to him are these negative tropes, these negative ideas. So you might as well be calling him a young nigga. Like it's still the derogatory, you know what I mean? But you're still pointing out the negative population of the black man, and you'll call him YN.
Oh,
but if you were to call, if you was a
young nigga,
you wouldn't call the young boy in the suit YN. You only calling the negative look version of the young boy a YN. So to me, I say
If he's
it's the same
15, I
shit.
think they all YNs.
These little
He
niggas
was
don't.
standing-
It's little nigga, basically, like how they used to call it. These little niggas don't.
No,
know what
but
they
you talking about the white dude ain't finna say these little niggas.
they
And
not
see,
finna
that's
say
what I'm
that,
saying. Even YN, these YNs to me, it's the same thing. I don't
Yeah.
use the term, but I can.
I'm not
they wanna
finna
make it-
trip if they say YNs. Just
Oh, if
don't-
the white folks say YN,
Yeah, that's what he
yeah,
said.
bro, it's the same thing.
I'm not finna. I'm not
Hey,
finna
Johnny was
police it.
standing 10 toes on that shit.
I'm
too.
still am. Like I'm not
Yeah,
finna.
I
police it.
I think that it's
I'm not finna.
It's the same thing.
it's a weird because all right, let me see how I can frame this. It means the same thing, and that's where you have an argument at. It's like saying, would you rather a white person say N-word or nigger? One of them does.
That's the example.
Right,
he's trying to use.
but yeah, and like the reality is that if a white person says N-word, it don't smack like the ER.
Right, but
and that the ER is worse, but they're all talking about the same thing.
So
okay, but look, this the
I'm
thing.
saying if you call a woman a DB instead of saying dumb,
Yes, guarantee you. I guarantee you.
That's only if she don't know what the DB mean. If she know what DB mean, you get the same reaction.
You get the same reaction.
You get the same reaction. See, the thing is that the reason why.
No, but if DB is now like associated with like the cool, the cool Megan Thee Stallion bitches.
But that's not cool though. The YNs aren't cool.
Now
Why the YNs crash outs?
No, no, the YN to the YNs are cool.
But to anybody that's an adult, when we say YN, we talking about crashing out.
You talking about young niggas?
But it's a specific subset of young niggas that you talking about though. You ain't gonna call.
A little bit.
You ain't gonna call.
I think it's fairly broad, but like when we get deep into it, like the biggest representation is like niggas crashing out. But like how loosely I hear YN used is like as loosely as like real, not real. Tone said like these little niggas. It does speak to like whatever that generation is in general. So like it's used broadly, but as soon as like a young person does shoot up some shit, it's them YNs also.
Hey.
But to me, like to me, I understand like both.
Get over to that right there.
Yeah.
Fuck. But go ahead. You got this floor, Johnny.
Scroll down for me. Oh no. Go back up. I think it's on the top. Yeah, this gonna be. I don't know if Tone gonna go, but it's gonna lead right into my topic.
So do you want to wait for it?
Or yeah,
I do got a couple, and one mine is
okay.
kind of some smoke. So
all right,
okay. Well, all right. I'll wait.
Yeah. Just roll it into your jump.
Mine gonna go pretty quick, so Johnny can tell us if this true or not.
Raise your yeah.
Bro.
Hey, what up, gang?
What's up, man? What you doing?
Did you hear that? I got man.
Yeah, I'm looking for a car, man.
Let me guess. A Hellcat?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Charger?
What?
Wide body?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I figured, bro. Come on. All right, Kanye.
Nah, cuz my name's Tyrone.
Do you hear? What is that? Is that you, bro? What's your credit score?
550? Yeah.
What do you do for work, bro?
Bouncer. On the side of
rap. Rap, bro.
On
SoundCloud.
Yeah. Well, damn, bro, you heard of me?
No, I haven't. No one has. What is that? All right, Big D.
What?
What? This is a Hellcat right here?
Yeah, this is hard, man.
Yeah.
Hey, but let me ask you real quick.
You gonna ask me? Why you gonna ask me?
Nah, man, let me ask you a question.
Oh, you mean Asuka?
Yeah, that's what I said. Axe. This is a red eye?
Yeah, man. What you think, bro?
All right, my brother.
What the fuck, bro?
What the 2023 Hell Kizzy? You got a price of $91,000. I got you at the legal limit, 29.9%, zero down, and 168 months. Okay, total is $32.41 a month.
Damn, $32 a month, 168 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where did I sign, bro?
Right here.
Damn.
I love that sound.
Raise your yeah.
Hey, that was racist as fuck.
That was the whole point.
That was really racist.
But Johnny, is it true?
Nah, he know they be stereotyping the shit out of people. That's just one of them things.
No, I work at a dealership.
Oh, they don't be coming there with no 550s.
Yeah, and I ain't seen a 550 in a minute. I'm spoiled.
I remember a story. My aunt, she's the first female valedictorian in schools. I mean, not valedictorian, fucking superintendent of schools in. Well, I won't say the state just to keep her a little more anonymous, but she went to I think it's a BMW dealership. That's one of the. I think that they drive BMWs, and she went on the lot, and the salesman took her over to the used section. Just took her right over to the used section.
Who talking about, your sister?
My aunt.
Okay.
Took her to the used section, not knowing who the fuck you talking to, bro. She got a house that got 2 kitchens.
That's why you gotta do a customer interview.
Well, he fucked that up because
I'm a big advocate.
She went ahead and went and got
interview.
another salesman.
Hey Johnny,
and just overlooked, bruh, and bought. Actually, she bought 2 cars that day.
So
2
Johnny,
brand new.
just ask him real quick. What kind of customer interview did you do with Red?
Hey, Johnny was underestimating.
He saw.
Hey, Johnny was looking at me like I had like a 600 or something.
No, he put YN on you, didn't
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He put all of it on me.
I was like, hey, here he come.
Said, what are you looking for? Hellcat.
No, that's crazy. That nigga.
What was your customer interview, nigga?
That was crazy, bro.
I did one.
What was it? What did you take from it?
The man wanted a Charger.
That's what I wanted. All right, go with that, then. Fuck you. Go with that.
Nah, he wanted a Mustang.
No, I didn't.
I'm fucking with you, bro. You wanted a WRX.
I got a Mustang. Hell, I had a Mustang when I was at the dealership.
You wanted a WRX.
No, he said that's why he was talking to you like that.
Hey, that's not even just a WRX. See, I qualify for the STI.
Pause.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
My bad.
That was crazy.
WRX.
I'm like, what?
STI.
He's gonna be like, hey, bro, they got a clinic.
What you saying? Medicaid? Medicare?
Yes, I got Blue Cross Blue Shield.
All right, I'm gonna hurry up and push this because this next one, I want to get a shout out last week, but I thought this was dope when I seen it.
Nigga, just so pretense, you not getting rid of.
You hear him. We having a tailgate party Sunday. On just about. Top dog just bit him. Every station. Can I have your attention, please? Leaving some to wonder.
Does anybody know how to find old boy?
Who he is.
You never thought it could happen, but it happened.
Meet Terrell John.
Everybody knows me as Lucky.
But don't be mistaken. This Charlotte man is wildly successful because of anything but luck.
Everything bad that I went through needed to happen for me to get here.
Growing up, Lucky says he was teased for his voice. He never could have imagined becoming one of the most famous voices in radio. But in 2009, when he was working as a promoter, he grew tired of how a radio station was producing his commercials. So he asked if he could do it.
So I tried it. And everybody was like, wow, your voice is like cuts through radio.
From there, car dealerships, attorney offices, and other businesses started to notice him. Today, he produces 60 to 70 commercials a week out of his Charlotte condo. They're heard across the country.
Nobody tells me what to say.
You hear him.
Yeah, I thought that was dope.
Yeah, no, that is fire.
Dope. But that nigga aggravating this fuck to me, bro.
But yeah, knowing the story though, it'd be like,
yeah,
man,
it makes it dope. It makes
like,
it dope. But I can't lie, just getting in the car, hearing that nigga, bro, and he's on every state, like every commercial damn near that you hear is this nigga screaming.
$2 Tuesday at Onyx.
Yeah.
What you do? Like
Infinity Live.
Yeah.
Hey, but I thought that was dope though. I wanted to show this last one real quick because this was to the panel. We all guilty of this at different times of something in here, so I wanted to show this.
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna let you finish. But I want to address something you just said first.
Oh, yeah.
What? That's not even what happened. Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay, I'm listening. Go ahead. That's wow, that's crazy. Wait a minute. No, we're not doing that. No, that's not even what happened. No. Right. Okay. And do you remember why that happened? Okay. Let's not forget that part. Right. Okay. Oh, okay. But why? Okay. Okay. But how is that my fault though? You saying it like that's my fault? No, because I'm not gonna sit here and listen to you put all of that on me. No. Well, then what is the point? What is the point then? Because I don't. Okay, but can I say something real quick? Because I don't want to forget what I'm about to say, and it's important. Okay. No. That's no. No. Are you done? Are you finished? Can I talk now? Okay. Okay, but let's not forget your role in it though. Okay. Let's talk about what you did. Cause no, I'm just waiting for my turn to speak. Cause I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening. Okay, hold on. Wait. Do you even know what that word mean? Like, maybe you should Google the definition of that, because that's not. No, it's not besides the point. That's no. It is relevant. No,
do that on it.
That's
Gaslighting.
You know, those
gaslighting.
it was the word gaslighting.
No. Oh, it might have been. I probably done had them pull that up too.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like when niggas start dropping narcissists, you go like, you know what that means?
Yeah, no, that's another one. That's what she was saying. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I do. Yeah, let's just look it up.
Yeah, we all do this. We all guilty of different ones. Different topics.
Yeah, I would say like 3 of those are To Be Fair show ones. Yeah. There's probably like another 3 to 4 that's like exclusive to Trey.
I'll go say
there's like 2 of them that's
I'll
like
go say unpacked. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of that. Yeah,
it's like certain ones just like very exclusive. Yeah, and then there's a bunch of them that's so like you and your old ladies. Oh yeah, no. So what you're saying is,
nah, I'll wait.
Yeah,
waiting for something.
I'm listening.
I'm just waiting so I can speak.
Yeah, nah, niggas don't be waiting. We gonna talk over.
You're not listening either. You just waiting to speak.
yeah. Oh no, niggas that do that accent for sure.
Motherfucker was responding to something you said 12 minutes ago.
All right, we got a good 30 minutes, fellas. So let's get Johnny's in.
Yeah, let me get
fitting.
Yeah. Sheesh. I appreciate you, Rail. You got there before I could get there. Let me get top right.
When I was in 7th grade, we had a female teacher who slept with a male student. Class she taught, hardest math class we offered in the program. Student she slept with, smartest kid in the class. When the rest of us students found out what she did, none of us were like, how could she do this? We were all like, fuck, we should have studied harder. Oh, you're telling me that's what was at stake the whole time? Understand the point I'm trying to make here. I'm not saying teachers should be sleeping with students. I'm saying I've never been more motivated to learn. You feel? Bro, she's giving out fellatio for ratios. You think I'm not gonna learn this material? Bro, I was studying for that class like I was an 8 Mile. I'm like, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to. Bro, you think I know Pythagorean theorem because I care what the hypotenuse of a right triangle is? You better grow up. I was trying to lay teenage pipe. Don't forget to follow me here for more and go check out both of my 1-hour specials available now.
You ain't have to plug them, but
why not? That's good. I might actually go. I'm interested to see more of his comedy.
No, it was pretty funny. I mean, that's a funny take on a serious, semi-serious subject.
Okay.
But my question I did, YG just released a song. I don't want to play it because of monetization. But that's exactly what he talks about, being raped when he was in 7 or 8. He was in the elementary. He got raped, and we saw the whole Anthony Edwards thing a couple weeks ago where he was, that girl was a predator. And my question was, should we hold women more accountable for being, predators in our community, especially amongst like our young men, and the impact that has on a lot of men and their relationships with women, once they get older and once they become more mature.
You want to go out and go?
You can go. I'll.
Okay. I would say yes. I think that, like, I guess we can try and use some of the examples that you were saying. The Anthony Edwards shit. All right, so I'm gonna start with this part. I think that instead of saying that there is a double standard, we should exercise the right to do the thing. So instead of saying why don't we like chastise or talk down on women that do this act, let's just do it. Like, even us, we have a platform to do it. I think that, like, the woman, like, let's use Anthony Edwards, for example. What she did is predatory. That is grooming. There's no other way around it. Again, like, you're 38 and like you're finding a 21-year-old that are, in essence, like, as this woman, you're grooming him into, like, now you had a baby and now you got that 18-year paycheck. Like, to me, that is grooming. Everything that we put on, like, the red pill niggas and all that shit, that is this exact same thing. And my only issue is that, like, a lot of times we say, why don't we, instead of just doing it? We see the imbalance inside the behavior, and I say, let's just do it more. Like, that is rape. What he just described. And like there was a point in time where like I had that mindset before too, where it's like, hey, well, if it happens to my son, but then like when you actually understand, and then the reality is that usually when that does happen to kids at a young age, there's mad like things that manifest inside their future that comes from that. It's rare that you don't hear a guy like a guy that had any of those scenarios happen inside their older years actually can like reference that and say how that actually skewed them into some version of sexual deviancy. And my thing is that it's rape. It's statutory rape, and we should call it that. I don't think that we should like really like whatever the punishment is for men, I think that it should be upheld for women inside that same regard. That's my personal opinion. I don't know. Did he give another example? He said it was like the Anthony Edwards shit, and it was the school shit.
Oh, YG and like his
YG. Like again, I think,
and that's just three that
the more because of like the I guess well we can get to that as we unpack it, but yeah, I think that like this whole thing of like the older lady fondling the younger boy, like results have came in, and it shit still works. It still leads to sexual deviancy. It still leads to bad outcomes. Let's castigate it.
Broken
homes. Like it's a negative. Let's make sure that we treat that shit as a negative. Auntie, you raping niggas. I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that there's a little bit more of a conversation too that we can have. Well, I don't know if we want to have this, but I'll just make this statement. I think a lot of these types of things that like that as we as men, I don't think that these things start at like you're 21 and da-da-da. I think a lot of us have had like older people when we were younger do things that like we, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know how to really like that is not outside the norm. What I'm saying, I mean,
what for women to do this to men?
No, I'm saying for a young boy to have a let's not even say like it's just some broad ass age gap where you're talking about 21 and 38 or whatever the fuck, but just that you can be a younger guy and have an older person, not necessarily that big an age gap, do something to you, and it's like you're a lot of these things like as men we're not taught that we can be victims.
Okay,
we're not taught that we can be victims. So like outside of like something that's physical, like you know what I mean, shooting them or stabbing them, outside of stuff like that, like everything that you're supposed to go through, everything that you went through all the way up to you growing, and you know what I mean, all of that shit you just got to chalk up as an experience,
or it's your fault,
or it's your fault, or you know what I mean, or you just got to act like it never happened. You know what I mean? And I think that that's more of our situation than we, because of the way that we're groomed. You ain't supposed to say that shit. It's you just supposed to, you know what I mean? So
it's a lot of young men who had, or guys who had sex with grown women when they was younger.
Yeah,
like I know a lot personally.
Yeah, me too. Like, know a few of them.
Yeah, this shit's not like
I don't really know a lot, but I've heard that that's been like a thing.
Yeah, it's not as abnormal as we as it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, we have a culture that's always cake for women. We've always caked for women. This is like that's just what it is. At the end of the day, that's just what it is. I think socially we can understand why it was that way, just because of like if you look at where
I don't think black cultures really advocate for women.
American culture is a cake for women.
I ain't talking Trey in his room.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do. That's like if you talk about the baby mama, baby daddy thing, you don't know what baby mama did. You know what baby daddy did. The kids all know daddy ain't shit. Daddy ain't never was shit. But then you don't talk about. We don't. Daddy don't
niggas
even
always.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Daddy don't even tell what mama did. We'll just chin that shit. And just take the motherfucking. You know what I mean? Well, I can tell you this that like at the end
that
of the
ain't
day,
true at all.
At the end of the day, I know what my pops was doing. I know what my pops was doing because the story everybody told. Everybody knows the story.
But your mother didn't throw him under the bus either, though.
Well, I mean, it wasn't. She wasn't. The thing is that we knew what he did, even though it wasn't no throw under. You know what I mean? It's all about how you attach the emotion. But we definitely knew what he did, even as we knew that he was cool. But it was
most niggas ain't talking well about their baby mama either.
Well, what I'm saying is that but they don't sit there and like bash that into the kids and like I don't see this shit.
Well, because
average, I don't see that
typically
shit.
they're not with the kid. Like I wouldn't use it as like with the kids because of
But you still
inside that
get the
scenario.
kids, though.
Inside that scenario, like all right, right now we're having this conversation inside the dynamic of baby mama.
That was just the example that I gave.
All
That
right,
was solely just the
and that's
example.
why I said like if because of inside that scenario, more times than not, the trope is that the woman has the kid a lot, and she bashes the kid.
Mhm.
Yes,
Bashes
bash
the
the
man
dad,
to the children.
but the dad's not like super active, and he bashes the baby mama for not being able to get the kids. Like that's kind of how that typically works. But
Well, okay. Look, go ahead, keep talking. I'm gonna come up with even another example because
No, but
I'm gonna need to give you multiple examples.
well,
but
yeah, I mean, like to me, generally speaking, though,
even
and it,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say even as it relates to sexually, even we can go back to that conversation we were just having, right? As it relates to sexually, at the end of the day, it is viewed way worse for an older man to be dating a younger woman than it is for an older woman to be dating a younger man.
I agree with that.
They've just about all of their decisions have been so.
Oh no,
even when you
that's
look
women
at,
in general.
Even when you look
so
at
I
just
agree with that.
sexuality in general, like you can look at not saying that I'm trying to, but the women on women thing, that shit was okay way before dudes could be. You know what I mean? If you're trying to find yourself and you actually like the same sex, like that shit, girls been, and you ain't even necessarily gay. Them girls ain't even necessarily gay. You can be sitting there having your girls come over and play with each other all through your goddamn
but that's not like
middle and high school years.
Yeah, some of it's gay. Listen.
But what I'm saying is it's socially accepted as like it was never like something. Not in my lifetime when niggas like, oh, you gay, and it was like shunned down. Like, no, that's men. Men have to bear the brunt. Had to, and probably still do. I think still do.
Or is it just because like men accept the behavior? But
bro, I'm just at the end of the day.
Well, I guess like that goes to like the idea of like. Well, no, because men like women that be fucking with other women because of the idea of
two
a threesome.
red bones kissing in the backseat.
But like you were just saying, like in general, we cape for women. I
Bro,
think that
a woman
like
being-
when you use the idea of like with like yes, I believe the double standard of the sexual thing does exist. I
got
don't
another
disagree
one.
with that.
Another
But like again, like I said, if we go specific to black women, I think that like ain't nobody been like uglier, more hoes, more like just like you it's hard to like think of like positive tropes that exist for black women.
Did
at
that
all.
come from black men or that just society in general?
That was American culture created.
I don't think
No,
black
no,
men- I don't think-
well, again,
I don't think black men
all
think that
I
about
said,
black women.
like I can make an argument for either, but all I said was that I think that I exclude them from like that statement. That's my point. Like I think that if we're talking about like did black men or black women have it harder, black women's had it harder for sure.
I mean, I ain't going into that. But what I'm saying, let me go back to make another example.
Okay,
the broke nigga versus the broke woman. It's okay for them to be. They could be broke or have a lot of money or date women or not. They're accepted. It's so easy, much more easily acceptable for them to go to.
But do we
either
believe in
extreme
gender
and
roles or
many
not?
different- Nigga,
No,
most
because
people don't. I'm sitting here every time I say that shit. We got everybody in the room, whether it be y'all or we can add some extra niggas in here. I'm the only nigga that say that, and y'all jump on me like I'm saying the wrong shit.
But the answer would be why is it more or less accepted? It's because of like the idea that because who's gonna get it the worst for sure. Well, nah, the broke ugly nigga's gonna get it even. They close. Like if you smut ugly woman, broke woman, that's super
Bro,
rough.
they still got kids, bro.
Yeah, somebody.
They still got kids.
I'll give you that. Oh no, I'll give you that. But the reality is
they
that
still have value because they're born with value. As a man, you have
like
to.
I said, dumbass.
That's not dumb, bro. That's facts.
Red pill talking.
That's not the bro. You can call it red pill. I don't listen to them niggas. I'm talking about this come right off my brain. I don't know what.
Bro,
them niggas
saying
be
that women are born with value is the right.
They are
Either
fucking
Kevin Samuels
born
or
with
Marvin
value.
Gaye.
At the end of the day,
What's the value?
All right, bro.
That they just got a box.
Bro, all right. Well, we go.
No, I'm asking what's the value that they get to do it. Like, go ahead.
I think both men and women are born with value. I don't think
Okay,
neither
so
one are.
you don't think that one's born with more value than the other?
No.
Pretty women are. That's it.
All right, bro.
Same
There's
way like strong, athletic, tall men are
privilege, and yeah, there's like big privilege for dudes. If you
like
six,
if you talking about like ugly niggas and ugly women across the board, they suffer. Especially if you dumb. If you dumb and you broke and you ugly, everybody suffers.
It might be harder for an ugly woman too, because an ugly man can get a bag and like you'll still be able to get to some, but an ugly woman is just kind of start.
Okay.
It's fucking 7:30 p.m. in December.
They still every single one. When you next time you go out and look at, try to find one that ain't got kids.
That don't mean.
That means that somebody
somebody
is still fucking. There's still value,
but she's not
beyond
married.
This nigga that's done.
Is every ugly nigga a virgin or something? Like, what are we saying?
Niggas a papa girl, but that don't mean they gonna marry her.
You said every, right? But do you? So
Is most niggas virgins then?
So because women
y'all be in here making other arguments
because
all the
women
time.
hold the key to they hold the key to sex, right?
But they're not.
You're
married.
going to naturally find way more ugly niggas who are virgins than you will women.
So is it like a virgin
because
epidemic
they control
now?
the motherfucking accent.
Y'all was just telling me that niggas that don't be virgins.
What about
like that?
ugly niggas versus ugly women, and who's married more?
Ugly niggas.
Ugly niggas are married way more than ugly women
because we value different things. Because we value
that was the
different
point.
things.
So like you put it at like a gender divide point. That's the point that I was making.
Hell no, man! Y'all call that about? There ain't nobody believe that shit in the chat. Nobody believe that shit. Nobody believe that. Just because you talking longer don't mean you right. I'll stop talking.
Oh, we got the comments, Tone. I see a
let me
few
see.
of them popping up in there.
Yeah, they was going back and forth between each other though.
Oh, okay.
Nigerian women have inherent value, and the bride price we pay in marriage is a reflection of that value. Oh yeah, he said.
Yeah, that's a traditional gender role society right there. They selling them Nigerians for oh man, we got into a hell of a. I don't know if you was looking at that shit in the Unpack group chat over Nigerians and Trey. We'll bring that to Unpacked on Wednesday. That's gonna be a fire one.
That shit just made me think of the movie Holes. You remember when the Madam Radini? Hey, he traded his daughter in for a fucking pig.
That shit crazy.
This nigga,
imagine
feed this motherfucker.
Like, is that value? Or is that like?
Well,
are you like
a value? It's just actually
you're a fucking no. The man has all the value in there. You're a utility.
Well, okay. What I'm saying is that, but you're also as the father.
Everybody has value. Let's leave it there. Jeez.
But you still okay.
And Holes is a great movie.
I wasn't even.
Everybody gets
first
first
and
place.
Holes is a great song.
Everyone gets first place. No one gets the second.
Exactly.
Everyone wins.
It was a great book too. I read
that. Sound like the kind of coach Johnny like them Drake loving ass light skin. Yeah, that just sounds
I'm
like
dark skinned as hell. Don't put no
I know,
motherfuckers you talking about. I'm the darkest.
In your heart, you light.
I'm the darkest motherfucker. I'm blacker
in
than all
your heart,
y'all.
You light skinned.
I'm darker than all y'all.
But in your heart, you light skinned.
You don't know. I don't know about
but
that.
you're not even real FBA, so dark skin don't matter if you're Nigerian.
Man, I got this. Hey, stop that. Got no African in me.
Oh man, okay, here talking right. Up said, "Oh, y'all need to look up the meaning of the word roots. It's the groove in the vagina. Once they're gone, you can't retread. The woman vagina has been destroyed.
Retread.
So once he ran through, she ain't got no value.
That sounds like something we used to say that the hymen. That's what that sounds like.
So what we going there?
Steve say talking crazy. He said the coochie tread water.
What's the exercise they got to do?
Go to Kegels.
Yeah, she wasn't doing that Kegels.
You can't do no Kegels for coochie tread, bro.
For coochie tread,
you can't get the tread.
That's when them lips start hanging. Motherfuckers.
I ain't gonna lie. This
start touching the floor.
Coochie talk. I think that this ends up being like the best part about like.
Ignorant, bro.
Never mind. I'm gonna save myself.
Did we have another question?
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I'm done.
So my question was, so we know, based on like these statistics that we've been given, that they say that the reason for separation, the top two reasons for separation are infidelity and finances.
Okay.
So I wanted to see like, what would y'all, if you could come up with maybe another one or two, what would you think would be like right under there? Maybe like 3 and 4 or whatever you can come up with as the reasons why separation or the marriage rate, or just, I mean, even if you're not looking at marriage, you're just looking at just relationships in general. What would you say is right under like the finances,
ego,
and infidelity,
motherfucking ego?
Well, I mean, I think though, let's not use like the broader ones.
I'm gonna go into what I mean by that though. Like,
I mean, ego could mean a whole bunch of different things.
I want to explain what I mean.
Okay, go ahead.
Like, a lot of people go into these relationships, or people get in relationships, and they start feeling like, I don't want to say better than what they are, but it'd be like like it's that aura of, oh, I'm greater than this, or like even the growth or whatever. So it's like people get be full of themselves, and they like a lot of people, like when they get out of their marriage, they end up be wanting to get back into it.
I've seen that.
Like it happens so many times because people have this whole grandiose idea of what else is out there for me, that it's so much better out there for me, or it's better. When in like reality, everybody got problems and everybody got good qualities too. Like,
illusion of options, so better candidates.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I mean, I think it's, and you're gonna call this broad. You gonna call this
because you already know it's broad.
You gonna call it a broad or
I was thinking like that, but I think it's communication or lack of communication. I think we get caught up in our world where like the cell phones and stuff and technology is supposed to make like things easier for us, but a lot of time it makes it harder. Instead of like, instead of going home and, imagine back in the day, you had an argument with your girl, you come home from work and y'all got to sit there and talk about it. Now you can have an argument with a girl, get home from work. I'm going in my room, you go in your room, I'm on my phone. And like the technology has created these bubbles to where, and when things get tough, you can just run to the phone and get your dopamine hits. She can run to the phone and get her. She can be in her little world with her algorithms. I can be over here. And that leads to a lack of communication. You're not, y'all not talking anymore. You just living a double, a separate life, even though it might be under the same roof, same house. If there's not that unity there or that communication, you lead these, separate lives. And the phones, internet, social media, it makes all that easier.
And I was going to add something quick to that too, is that like, so something in another way of looking at like the phone and as it relates to communication, something else that I had to like, well, we still work on it, but we're pretty much away from that. It's like using text message to say like important things, like, or like it's so easy to misinterpret something to be like, I don't know what your tone is when you're saying, so I can assume your tone.
There he is right there.
You know what I mean? I can assume your tone based on the words that you're using, but I can be off way more times than, you know what I mean? So even when me and my wife been together for a long time, and that still can rear its head in certain times.
Well, that's something even I would do nowadays. If I find myself like getting into like an argument or heated, comment, and the text message start getting too long. And I'll just call the motherfucker.
You gotta call
instead of just so like better. Typing out a whole essay and then wonder how it got received. But we'll just like, as soon as I get the long text message, I'll even I'll call the motherfucker, because it's like we gotta talk. Cause like we can text, but like you say, there's gonna be a lot of context that gets left, a lot of tone, a lot of stuff that gets left out in a text message, which is supposed to make communication better, but in that situation, it actually hinders real, true communication. So yeah, you gotta either call, sit down in front of a motherfucker, and really work that shit out. But a lot of times, like you say, you can just text it out, and
that's more the communication than words. But it shows right in those instances.
But it feels like you working. It feels like you talking. You can text somebody all day, feel like you talk to them all day, but did you really?
Yeah.
Nah, not really. Not really. It's just
yeah, I suck at texting and calling people. I ain't gonna lie to you. But all right, you said infidelity and what was the other one?
Finances are the ones.
All right, infidelity, finances. We all agree on communication. I agree with Tone on ego. If I was to like add a last one, I would probably say growth. I think that
evolution.
Yeah, like people can kind of like start at a place and like whether it's your interests, your similarities, the things that like just over time, like they start going like this, and like it ends up being like, oh damn, where are we connecting at? And this, especially like if we talk about like new age couples where niggas will be together for like 15 years and then you got kids and nothing. So like this is only interpersonal based, and at that space, when it comes down to like you growing apart and like not being intentional about growing together, I could imagine that in itself could also be just one of the ones where it could lead to it. I agree with communication. Like as broad as that sounds, I do think that even as simple as actually expressing said thing that you feel at the correct time. And sometimes that correct time could be at the moment or waiting, making sure that you understand exactly how you feel. And that's like inverse for both people. And having like clear plans for what you're doing now, later, like all these communications of like ideas of like what does future look like for you? Do we even agree on these things? Yeah.
And that was something that LTO said. She said different values. I had mine is children. I think children makes and this is something specific to me. Like I remember, sure. Both times my wife got pregnant with our children, we separated. Both times. I think that it had a lot to do with me too. I didn't really understand or even believe in like postpartum.
Oh yeah, that was your ass, bro.
Yeah, so
that
like,
was Susie. That was him. That was you, bro.
Right. I just said that was me.
We jumping on your goddamn back. But we on Susie's side right now.
Yeah, I'm not mad
Team
at that.
Susie.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that. I'm Team Susie too. But yeah, so to see, because it's like for me, it was like, but you still talking to me away though. You can't not know how you talking to me.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? And
Tone,
so it's easy for you
who's
to-
yours?
Ego. And I was just about to go double back to Tone.
Yeah.
And so I'd say that like and children can also make you feel like you're further apart. Sometimes they can make you feel closer.
That's
if
what I
you're
was
both
gonna
if you're
ask,
both
yeah.
like engaged in putting the children, you know what I mean? If you're both engaged in that, then it can make it even better. It gives you more to talk about. Y'all talking about how, you know what I mean, what school they're gonna go to, like how you want to go about learning the ABCs, how you want to go about, you know what I mean? We got tutoring and you know what I mean? There's so many different ways you can make it a bonding experience.
But it's so easy to grow apart with kids.
Exactly. It's so easy for it to, if you're not intentional about it,
That's
you're
word.
going to grow apart because of the fact that it's just like it's so easy for it's just, man, I swear that's where you really want your man cave. You will separate yourself away from the family. You know what I mean? But then your wife is your wife with the kids, she's sleeping in the bed with the kids. You've been sleeping by yourself for a while. So then you talk about sex is no longer as prioritized as it was previously. And there's just so many different ways that kids can affect the relationships. That's why for me, I was thinking that was my number 3. But oftentimes, people don't even have kids and can't maintain. So it's a lot of, I think, all of those things.
Kids
valid.
is its own unique variable to throw in there. In which, yes, I think because all of the first 3 or 4 can be a pin, like a linchpin with kids,
children.
Right? And yeah, like I said, like it's so easy to, if you're not intentional, to forget about y'all relationship and like focus everything on the kids. And this is where you see a lot of people that are in relationships, like they're married, they're divorced after the kids leave because of now that common thing is gone.
It's not there.
And so now then you start talking to each other and be like, oh shit,
I don't like this motherfucker.
We like way over different places.
Or we accomplished the goal.
Well, I mean,
a lot
like
of the times that's what it'd be like. We did.
Well, that's when you already know that you own.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this motherfucker to graduate.
But it looked like we got a couple call in, so
we crying at the graduation for different reasons.
We got a few minutes left.
We got Steve and Unc on here, so we gonna start.
Okay. Yeah. Whoever the first one was, it's cool.
I think it was Unc.
All right.
What up, Unc?
What up?
Unc, we can't hear you. Let's go to Steve until Unc get his his audio right.
What's good? What's good?
We hear him now.
I got a couple of things, bro.
All right.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
We could hear you.
You got to stop listening to the TV to talk
you hear
to
me?
us.
Yeah.
No, he like delayed right now. You can kind of tell.
Can you hear me now?
Hell of a delay.
Yeah,
he just heard you talk about the TV.
Yeah. Stop listening to the TV.
Oh, my bad. I know I got on headphones. My bad. I cut it off. You know, I got on headphones. No, I'm on headphones. My bad. It's cheap. My bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got a couple of things.
You was like 30 seconds behind right there.
Y'all hear me now, no, right?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. I had a couple of things I had wrote down.
Okay.
One thing
That's
I
so
was
fire.
saying,
We appreciate that actually.
That is dope.
like whether we do or don't do the call in, Unc gonna have this shit wrote down. That's so fire.
No, that's fire.
We gotta see the notes one day too.
Y'all don't need to see the notes. But anyway, like you know what I'm saying, Johnny was saying something about Johnny was saying something about, you know what I'm saying, the toy guns and stuff like that. Black people don't do that. We don't do that no more. That's suburban white people and black people that grew up around suburban areas. I'm sorry. But that's what it is.
Let me hop in really quickly because in college, this was like such a big thing. Like the BB gun shit. I know niggas that had to go to the dean's office off of it. Like it was like a weird BB gun culture that niggas popped up out of nowhere. They had the airsoft little BBs. They used to go out to the field and go at it. They used to be inside the dorm room going at it. These niggas are starting to pop like random like niggas out their windows and shit.
You already knew that shit was
It was
bad.
like,
That shit
what
was
the fuck are y'all doing in college with these airsoft guns that look like guns? But my bad.
No, I'm saying at your school they did that. High school?
Yeah. No, this was college. These were like
college, that's a different story. I'm saying
Okay.
parents. Once you're in
Okay,
college,
okay.
you know what I'm saying, you licked your first piece of pussy at college. I'm sorry to say it like that, but you did. I'm just saying. Anyway, what I'm saying to you that don't count. I'm saying about what your parents bought for you. Once you get out of college, you do things that you ain't gonna do at your own house.
Oh, yeah,
And parents
your
ain't
parents
black
ain't
parents
buying it,
ain't
yeah.
buying them guns. They're not.
Yeah.
They just don't do it. But anyway, I'm gonna get back this
Johnny.
and we're gonna go back to the terror thing. Like I was trying to say at the beginning, terrorists hurt the country that's giving the terrorists more than it does actually the country that is putting terrorists on, because the terrorists are taxed by the country, by the companies of the country that put the terrorists on, which means they have to put it towards the consumer. So us as Americans pay more because the tariffs are put on not the company that actually makes the product, but the people who buy the product from the company. And once they pay more, they have to charge more for us. That's what goes on with tariffs. You know. You hear me? Am I good?
Oh, no, we're with you, all right? Yeah, we hear you. I agree.
Yeah. And what I'm saying about what I was telling y'all about vaginal rugae. This is something that y'all need to know.
What'd he say?
Touch your vagina every now and then. There's ridges in there. Once you put your and this is adult people
That's
in here
called the
talking
G
to.
spot, bro.
Once you
Well,
put
no,
your fingers
Johnny,
in,
you're not talking about the same thing, my boy.
it's ridges that's
on the
in
inside.
there.
Yes,
It's called vaginal rugae. It's vaginal rugae. And those are the first points of the sensor and senses that happens with a woman when it comes to them having fun. Once that's gone, they get gone after a while, and that comes from mileage on that. And as I said, once the ridges are gone in there, if you ever felt inside of there, you feel ridges.
Yeah,
once you feeling something that's not there no more, they have a slip and slide. You cannot retread that. Now it's for pressure slip and slide.
Hey, we ain't seen them since high school.
It's a medical term.
You're saying that to say what thing though?
What I'm saying,
like you're building that to a different
this
point.
right here. What I'm saying, my point on that is this right here. Everything has a pressure point, and everything has a wear and tear to it.
Yeah,
the vaginal area does as well.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Once that is gone, and you know what I'm saying, once that is gone, they have the first point of sensor that's going from there. Now they need deeper. They go from needing 7 inches, now they need 10 inches because I'm just saying.
What did we say? What did we say that made you think about the rugae?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to understand. Like you get where you at.
The vaginal rugae.
I'm going back to that. It's because when it was y'all were speaking on it was something crazy because I had put the phone down and I walked back and I'm like, it was the comments that we were in there. I think it was LTO.
Oh, shout out to the chat.
It was something she had said, and it was from there.
Oh,
it's not you guys.
yeah,
you guys not knowing about this. That's what blew my mind. Like
Oh,
I'm
no,
talking
we feel
crazy.
that.
Hey, Unc. So when do they lose this?
They
The
lose it
Ruge.
once it get rough. Anything you rub, anything is goddamn gonna wear down.
So like so a lot of these women might have been that shit might have been gone by college.
Well, my only thing is like with the Ruge and the Ruge,
it
we're
was
not
gone. Hold
necessarily a
up. No,
theory.
no. It's not that quickly gone. What I'm saying to you is that this right here.
Only on high
If it was
mileage.
gone by college, you have to pray for her. She just have a slip and slide for the rest of her life. That's all you can do is pray for her because this is something that over time it happens. You
But I wonder
understand
what LTO said. To
But right. But the only issue is that like I ain't saying that what you're saying is wrong. Is that I think women that's with one partner probably get it the worst. Then they mileage like they shit probably wear the first because they getting actual consistent dick over. Like if you just a woman with one nigga and you get the, like and that nigga get the pop off
when you
4 to 5 days a week. He
wearing
them treads and
wearing that box out.
That motherfucker got 3 bodies and a slip and
Shit been
slide.
sitting outside. Shit been sitting outside in the rain for 3 days.
But you have to understand, y'all have to understand this right here. Now. This is something I'm going to say to you.
Steve, we're gonna get to you, here, bro.
She's not going to get wore out that much from him. Because
how the trade know it's different.
They're gonna start getting on a scale, and it always happens like that. It's anybody that has like that. We're talking about these nymphomaniac women, these women of today. None of them have Ruge. It's all slip and slide.
Shit is
It's
hilarious.
because it's multiples. It's multiples. They have
I read into some Ruge the other day.
You can have sex so many times a day, but a woman can have infinite sex during one day.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the difference between it. It's not about one thing being bad or good, either, but it's just the truth. A woman can go out here and have sex with 20 dudes in one day.
No Ruge.
You can't do it.
Yeah, she ain't gonna keep that
Ruge
Ruge
more than 7 times in one day. Ain't no man on here that did. And if he did, then he died at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck if it's when you're in your young 20s, early 30s, whether you're a teenager, whatever.
Oh no, I ain't never. 20 times I ain't never popped it off that time.
Yeah. Your piece
understand what
ain't
I'm
get up
saying?
that many times.
Yeah, it
bro.
start hurting after a
Fall
while.
down 7, get up 8, maybe. But 20 is
Exactly.
All right,
That's what I'm saying to you.
We appreciate the Ruge lesson.
Appreciate
it.
No problem. Love y'all.
We got one in the back. Love you.
on my Twitter handle, looking for Ruge.
Remember what it is and look it up. Please, anybody on here, look it up. It's a medical term. It's not me just speaking that.
I got you. Shout out to all the women that still got their Ruge. Love you.
1,000.
I love you.
Shout out to all the ladies in the chat with their Ruge.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I want to see if if there's a way to keep your Ruge.
Hey, yo, what's good?
All right, he up. All right.
What up?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, Unc is a trade policy expert, coochie trend expert. He said you gotta get the rotated and balanced. The coochie gotta be rotated and balanced.
Shout out to Unc, boy.
Hey, so I wanted to talk about Dreamville. Of course, my experience was good. I only got one complaint. So I was in the handicap section. You know, I tore my Achilles or whatever.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's why you couldn't pull up on
Yeah, that's why it was hard for me to like do a lot of shit. But you know,
the video, not that video, the picture ain't come through, so I ain't even see where you had took the picture at.
Yeah. So being fat is not a handicap. That was my one complaint about the festival. Cause I'm up here trying to get my seat in the handicap section. And it's just like everybody who was over 250 just got in handicap by default. I'm like, bro, there's nothing wrong with them. I seen them
you need to park in the back.
I seen them go get pizza like 5 times, man. You know, so that was my one complaint about the Dreamvillefest. But then I just want to go back to the tariffs thing and just how we frame who's getting taken advantage of. Because I think a lot of people typically say like China or insert any country is taking advantage of us. And really, that's not who taking advantage of us. Who taking advantage of us is American corporations.
There you go.
Because American and I think it's important to frame it that way, because I think a lot of times we get people riled up on this nationalism as if it's China versus America when it's beneficial to American companies. Like,
Either way.
now because American companies are being challenged technologically, it benefit for them to now start to embrace American nationalism. But when they was going and willingly giving their IP away to China to make money, they didn't care. But now because China is actually competing, getting closer, whether it's AI, whatever, now everybody want to be a nationalist. And the other issue with tariffs is nobody actually want to do the whole project, because the whole project will require a lot of investment from the U.S. government. Like, private corporations is just not going to do anything if it's not a profit incentive. So we want to bring jobs back, and that's a good thing to do. But corporations, if it's just left up to the private sector, the private sector not going to do it just because they love the country.
Yeah.
There have to be a money. There has to be some.
There has to be regulations on you're bringing this many jobs.
But they're trying to get the tax incentives.
They're gonna look at
it's
that
based
bottom
on how
line.
many you hire. That's what even still now, like the tax incentive is based on how many you hire as well. So I would assume that would be the way that they would get the incentive.
But we say that, but we literally have policy in place through last couple of bills that was passed during COVID or whatever. And we like the first thing we do when we get into this administration is counsel the funding to rather to bring manufacturing back to the country, because we do have Americans do have an adverse reaction to anytime they hear the government gonna do something. But the reality of it is if you're really serious about reshoring, bringing back critical industry, like, the government is gonna have to do it, because private sector will only do it if there's a profit incentive. You know,
I agree.
You know, that's just
that also gets into that space of like how libertarian are you? Like, do you care about real regulation with government? And a lot of this is where the tougher part of like passing any of that shit is that, like, all the capitalists, like my boy Johnny right here, they're gonna push back against that.
Because if you look at, because what America is saying is unfair is that if you look at the top most wealthy or the top most valuable companies in China, 9 out of 10 of them are owned by the state. So the state directly funds those corporations. And so what America is saying is unfair is that their government supports, whether it's AI, whatever, microchips, whatever industry you want to say, name, and it's not fair because we don't do the same. Which really, I don't think China shouldn't be doing what we want to do just because. They should do what they want to do because it's right for their country. And
but there's a lot of like paperwork that come with a lot of them companies in China too, though. They're handicapped. They can't, like, they don't have the freedom.
If you're an American company and you want access to the market, if you want access to the market in China, there's a 51 to 49% agreement. So like 51% of the company has to be owned by a Chinese national or the CCP. They have a whole different system that's more than just profit driven, and ours is totally profit driven. So we're gonna get different results. We have two totally different, value systems.
Sell half
that was another reason why.
Sell half of your company to China.
A lot of the
no, well, it'll be American. Like if you can do what Elon is doing, get most of your money subsidized by American government.
Yeah, I was listening to some American businessmen too. They were talking about their complaints were about how having business over in China, like them having business here, is so much easier. That's another reason why I said they're not playing fair, is because how the regulations over there, and you can't speak due process either. When you have these complaints about what they're doing, you can't then try to take them and, you know what I mean, because of the ties that they have to the government. The companies themselves, like I said, are like pretty much owned by the government, and so in order for you to actually come up against that, you'll be going against the government itself, so that you pretty much can't even fucking litigate any kind of fucking, you know what I mean? Anything.
American companies made this bet 40 years ago, and it had, like, the idea that it hasn't worked out. It has worked out because they
Steve, really quickly, Give us like a 1 minute kind of like synopsis of where you're going. We gotta wrap up. You over on the West Coast. But we got a couple brothers that
It's past Rail's curfew.
Yeah,
my bad. But,
but you like it's a great conversation. So we listen. But go ahead.
The really wrap up point is we can't just hear people say they want to bring jobs back or get caught up on that and not actually say, okay, you want to bring jobs back, but where is the actual industrial, policy to actually do that? Because they just saying it to get a rise out of their base because it sounds good. It really do sound good. Who nobody in their right mind gonna be like, yeah, don't bring jobs back. But if bringing jobs back is not also followed up by, hey, we gonna invest $1 trillion over the next 10 years and bringing back critical pharmaceuticals or whatever, like it's just talking at that point. It's like we shouldn't even take these people serious. And that's kind of just
gonna bring back these companies and regulate it to where they have to hire X amount of workers inside this specific. Like if we talking manufacturing, you actually have to bring back manufacturing jobs and not just the business, to where they get the tax break from coming over here, but then Americans get automated out of jobs still.
That's exactly, But that's it. I just kind
all
of
right, brother. Next time you over on the East Coast, holla at us. This one was,
I will. I will. Y'all be easy, man.
Appreciate you, Steve.
All right, Johnny, land this plane, my boy.
I'm gonna get us on the ground. I ain't a Delta pilot, so
okay.
But I appreciate everybody for tapping in with us.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate the chat.
Yeah.
If you catching this after the live, leave a comment below.
Please.
Hit the like button. Please subscribe. Get all our notifications.
Let us know what was your favorite topic from this week. Comment inside the comments. What was your favorite topic this week? Talk to us.
Check in. We'll be back Wednesday, 9:30. Follow us on all socials at the 2B Fair Show. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I'm your host, Johnny P.
Over here, Real.
It's Q.
And we out.